Hi everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will weigh in on a number of topics, ranging from choosing an education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina, and I'll be your host for today. We have an exciting lineup of speakers who will be weighing in on a variety of topics, such as deciding pathway after SPM, fintech and future of accounting, banking, and finance, as well as employment, income, demand, and job quality in TVET education and training. So today we have our speaker, Mr. Samson Saktival from SEGi. I'll just pull a speaker into the stream. Hi, Mr.
Uh,
Samson.
Hello, Nina. Hello, audience.
Hi,
How
good
are you all doing? Good
afternoon.
afternoon,
Nice.
Nina. How are you
How,
doing, Nina?
I'm doing really good, actually. How are you doing? I hope you had your lunch already.
Well, not yet. I had a late breakfast, but I'm fine. I can have my lunch after this session. Yeah.
Oh, all right, great.
Yeah.
All right, so
Right.
a little background about our esteemed speaker today. Currently the assistant manager in sales and marketing at SEGi University. Mr. Sampson has previously dabbled in 4 other industries before stepping into the education sector. He has garnered over 13 years of experience under his belt, counseling thousands of students and parents on deciding their future study pathway. All right, so I'm just gonna address the audience real quick. Before we begin, to our live audience watching, if you have any questions from Mr. Sampson, do leave a comment and we'll get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out the university's virtual booth while you're at the fair. All right, so Mr. Sampson, I think if you're ready, you can start presenting your slides.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah.
You can start presenting your slide. I can't really see it yet. Do you mind
Yeah.
sharing your
Yeah,
screen
sure.
again?
I'll do that. I'll do
Mm,
that now.
okay. All right. So while Mr. Sampson preps his slide, here's a quick video from SEGi University I'd like the audience to watch. All right, there you have it. Mr. Sampson, I'm gonna go ahead and let you take the stream and start presenting.
Definitely, Nina. Thank you so much.
All right.
Right.
Okay, you may start now, Mr. Sampson.
Nina, can I start my presentation?
Yes, you can.
Very nice. Hello there, everybody. Hope all of you are doing well. I'd like to introduce myself again. My name is Samson. I'm from SEGi University, Kota Damansara. I've been working with SEGi University for the last 11 years now. Yeah, as what Ms. Nina said earlier, I've been in many industries and decided to come to education to help out students to realize their dreams, and also the parents and all the guardian as well. Yeah, because as you can see that since I have a lot of experience in other industry, I would love to share my experience. What kind of career path that the student can take or can choose after they have completed their high school or their secondary school. Well, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, students and audience, like yesterday, the release of the SPM result, long awaited release was yesterday, 10th of June, 2021. Well, I hope all of you had good results. Hopefully, and I wish that that whatever that you have dreamed of on getting the result, that you have gotten that. Well, and most of you must be wondering, yeah, I had done my exam, I already got my results. So what's next for me? What's next? You some of you might have decided what you want to do, or maybe some of you don't know what you want to do, and maybe some of you have, yeah, I want to do this, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Maybe I just want to make my make my option more wider. So I want to go there and listen to talks. I want to go and talk to some counselors. I want to go and visit the universities. So my topic today is, ladies and gentlemen, is for whoever that who are on the fence, and you really don't know really what you want to do. So this is the topic. What is your options after high school, or I call it dilemma after SPM, right? So I'm gonna go and start to do my presentation now. Oh, I'm done with SPM. What now? Yeah, yeah. But to be very honest, now most of the students, you don't have much choice. Before the pandemic or COVID-19, the students, after they have completed the SEM, they have so many of choices. One of them is to travel. Yeah, but it's impossible now. We can't really travel now. In fact, you can't even travel locally. You want to go from one district to another district now at the current moment because of FMCO now. You need letter, from ET or from the government agency, then you can travel. Of course, interstate travel also is very much restricted. If this is the case inside the country, how about traveling overseas? So it's quite, quite impossible now, quite restricted. I put it that way. Some student, those days, or maybe now they say, okay, I want to travel the world first. I've done, for many years, from primary school up to secondary school, it's only about exam, exam, exam. I'm a 17, I'm 18 now, I'm legally, I'm adult, some of you already 18. So I wanted to explore the world. Some of you might want to do that. I'm done with mess. What now? You might want to travel. You want to go to Europe. You want to go travel, across Asia, or maybe you want to go to Australasia, or maybe if you don't want to go to overseas, you want to travel in the country. But now I know there's not much option of you for doing that now. Yeah, because of the pandemic, everybody is scared to go out. The second thing is, oh, I've done with my SPM. Okay, I want to get some job first. I want to get some pocket money before I want to go into university or into college. Or maybe some of you have decided, no, I don't want to. Don't want to join colleges or university. I want to go and work straight. Maybe some of you have that idea. Maybe that's because of financial issues or financial difficulties that you're facing, or your family is facing. So maybe you want to step in and to help your family. Okay, maybe you have this idea now. Maybe some of you, yeah, it's about earning money. What I did back on 1995 when I completed my SPM. Of course, that back then there's no COVID, there's no pandemic. So while I was waiting for my SPM examination result to come, I worked for 3 months. So I work in one of the fast food restaurant, and I saved some money for 3 months. And what I did after that, I did my pre-university studies. I did not join with the government. I continued with private colleges back then for my pre-university studies. So I make my registration fees. Of course, the tuition fees, all is my parents paid for it. But the first payment, the registration fee and such, I did contribute for it. So that's the reason why, some of you might wanted to work first because you wanted to save some, pocket money, savings to pay for the some part of the fees of or desired program they're going to study. Yeah, maybe some of you, okay, before I want to go into university colleges, I want to buy car, so I want to work. So that's might be the reason, you wanted to work first. Or maybe some of you already decided, none of this, none of the earlier was not for me. I wanted to straight away. I wanted to study. So you know what happened? Government has allowed the student for this year, for last year SPM leavers, they can start their foundation or they can start the pre-university program using their trial results. Some of you might have joined. Some of you might have joined some of the colleges or some of the universities, and some of you, oh yeah, I don't want to work, I don't want to travel the world, I don't want to earn anything now. I want to go and I want to go and enroll myself in colleges. Yeah. And this is, yeah, some of you, I wanted to enter the universities, I want to graduate fast, maybe some of you have decided, yeah, I want to be the top of the world. I want to get ready after my SPM. I want to go and study. I want to graduate, and then I want to go into the workforce. Yeah. So this particular presentation will be for most of you that that you have decided to continue your studies or your education after you have gotten your SPM results. So what now? So this is the big question marks. And another thing is, some of you, okay, I know I need to study. I need to go and enroll myself in college or university or for STPM. But what I want to study? What I need to do. So this is where I'm gonna actually gonna guide you on how you can choose what kind of program that you need to study, that you can study. All right. How do this is the title. How do I choose what program or career that I want? Some of you might have decided, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor. Yeah, I want to be a dentist. I want to be a pharmacist. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a chemical engineer. Some of you say, I want to be a lawyer. But some of you still haven't decided yet. And if that's the case, this is actually is for you. I call it as magical steps. So you need to do few steps in order for you to understand or to choose, what you wanted to study later on. So I call it, the first one is magical steps. Step one is assess yourself. Students, parents, guardians, ladies, gentlemen, students, you are the one who know yourself better than we. Okay, so you need to assess yourself first. What kind of students are you? Maybe after your PT3 or maybe after your PMR, you might have choose a science stream, but you are not really a science stream student. But you choose science stream because of maybe because of your other friends. Oh, okay, they are. I have five of you, and four of them or three of them are going for science stream. I want to follow them. So you might have choose that particular path, or maybe you are actually a art stream student, but maybe your parents wanted you to become a doctor and such. Maybe you choose science stream because of them. But it's actually important for you to assess yourself first. What kind of students are you? Or what kind of person are you? Are you a creative person? Are you more into health sciences? Are you more into biology? So I've been working in SEGi University for the last 11 years, I have counseled thousands of students and such. Some of the decisions that made by the student is basically because of peer pressure, because of their friends, because of mass media. If they don't assess themselves, what kind of person I am. Oh, this particular career can give me good money, so they choose because of that, and they didn't assess themselves whether they're capable of doing that or not. So the most important thing, students, you must assess yourself. What kind of person are you? What is close to your heart? What is close to your mind? That's very important, because we have faced many students that they come to the program because of their friend. They come to the program because of their uncle and auntie. Their uncle is a great chemical engineer, and he wanted to be like that. So he choose that, but he can't pursue further because his mind and his heart not really into that particular program. So students, you need to choose what is close to your heart and close to your mind. That's very important. You need to assess yourself, and you are the only one know yourself better than the rest of us. That's very important. Okay. And step two, you need to make a list of occupation to explore. After you assess yourself, oh, I'm a very much a technical person. I'm a technical person. Maybe I should do civil engineering. That's my list. That's my number one on the list. The second, maybe I need to do electric and electronic engineering. That would be maybe the third one. I want to do quantity surveying. Or maybe when you assess yourself, you are more into health sciences. You are very much into biology and chemistry. So the list that you can put over me, number one, closest to my heart is, I think I want to become a dentist. I like health sciences, and I'm also quite good in my hand. I'm also a bit artistic, so and I'm also good in art. Maybe I want to go into dentist. Dentist will be my choice number one. Choice number two, medicine perhaps. Choice number three, maybe biomedical science. So that's how you need to make a list. So you cannot just make one. So you have to make at least a minimum of three. And then after you make the list number one, number two, number three, then you have to go further. We call it as step three, explore the occupation on your list. First of all, whether you qualify or eligible to study the program. So when you assess yourself, that particular program need physics, that you have to need to have a good mark in physics, but your physics is not good, or maybe you didn't take physics in your SPM, then of course you can't pursue that particular program. So whether you, first of all, after you choose the occupation list, you need to check yourself whether you qualify or eligible to study the program. What if you can't check by yourself? What you can do is you can contact us, the universities, the university counselors, and you can share your results with the university counselor. And the university counselor will advise or explain to you on your eligibility, whether you can continue on your list, on the program that in the number one in your list. If you cannot, then what is on number two in my list? And then what is number three on my list? That's the first thing. After you list down the occupation or the program that you want to do, then you have to check whether you're qualified. That's the first thing. The second thing, average course fee. That's very important. So it's better for you not to choose a program which is more than what you are capable of. That's very, because you know your family financial situation. Okay, so you must see, or you must contact the universities. Okay, how much is your fees? Whether it's sustainable for me for the next 3 years or 4 years. Whether it's okay for me. Whether I can pay for this. So that's very important. Okay. The third thing that you need to understand is the current and the next 10 years industry demand. So it's always good for you to choose a program whereby after you graduated, that you can be employed very fast. That's very, very important, students. We don't want you to take a program that after you graduated, that to get a job is very difficult. So it's very important, because you have spent your time, you have spent your effort on your studies, you have spent your money, you have spent your energy and such, and then after you graduate, but to get job employment is not easy at all. So you must do some research. If I'm taking this chemical engineering degree, or if I'm taking this medical degree, or whether I can get job immediately or not, or if not immediate, by 3 months or by 4 months, for the next 10 years, what is the demand for this particular industry or for this particular profession will be. So you need to do some research. That's very, very important. And also expected salary after graduation, but this can be subjective, because there's no fixed salaries on this. Some companies will give you more, some company will give you less. So, but you should understand how much roughly the salary will be. So that's also very important. And the fifth of all, a professional review about the job. So you can go to Google, you can Google about this particular, review about this particular occupation. What is a professional review about this? Whether they're satisfied, whether they're improving further, whether there is good demand on this particular industry. So very important, ladies and gentlemen. Step one, step two, and step three. Then you have to follow all these, and then only on step four you need to make a choice. Okay, I already assess myself. I know myself, and I want to do this particular program. I am checked with the university, and I'm eligible for this particular program. And the fees also is affordable. It's sustainable. It's okay. I can afford to pay this, and then you make a choice. Yeah, I want to do this. Okay. Then when you already decided that you want to do this, then how should I realize my dream in order to become that profession? That's where we're going to go now. Okay. Academic option after SPM. So we have both. We have two in Malaysia, students, parents, ladies and gentlemen. We have government institution, and also we have private institution. As we all know, government institution is 100% government universities, and colleges, and private institution is run by their own universities, with their own business with own business models. Okay, so if you look at government institution, usually after your SPM, there's two choices for student, which is matriculation and also Sijil Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia. Some of you might have decided that, okay, I don't want to go into private universities. Yeah, I wanted to go into government institution. Although it will take times on the processings, or maybe after I've gone through this, maybe they don't give me the exact program that I want. It's okay, I can wait. Then you can actually go into government institution, which is matriculation studies and also Sijil Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia, or what we call STPM, right? Private institution, this is all the program that is available in private institution. We have foundation studies, foundation study, the frequent one, the most common one is foundation in science and also foundation in arts. Okay, foundation in science, they will be a branch out for health sciences, for engineering, and such. And for arts, they will be for business and accounting studies. For communicate, they will be branch out for communication. They will be elective for design. So there's so many of it. Okay, and then you have A level, by the from UK, and then you have Australian pre-university program. There's so many of Australian pre-university program. You have South Australia matriculation, you have South Australia certificate of education, you have Western Australia certificate of education, you have Mafi Monash undergraduate foundation here. And then you have Canadian Career University program, you have a diploma program. Diploma program, there's so much of diploma program. There's diploma in information technology, there's diploma in mass communication, there's diploma in business, there's business administration, there's diploma in accounting, a diploma in early childhood, diploma in hotel management. Because some of the students, they don't want to do pre-university studies. So if you don't want to do pre-university studies, you can do your diploma studies from SPM. Yes, that's right. You heard it right. You from SPM, after your SPM, you can also study diploma straight away. And the final one is American degree program. American degree program, the name itself exotically mentioned, is from America. So how does the system works in America? After your high school, you can straight away join for the degree program. So we have a similar pattern here also for American degree program. Students who wish to do American degree program, they can study after their SPM examinations. Okay. So this is the one, foundation in arts. So you have foundation in art, foundation in science, foundation in engineering, foundation in IT, and etc. Okay. As mentioned earlier, there is many branch out from the Australian Pre-University program, or Australian matriculation is South Australia City Education, Osman. And for Canadian Pre-University, you have CIMP and CPU. And diploma, this is some of it, diploma IT and such. Okay. So brief program description about each one that I explained to you earlier. What is matriculation? Matriculation is a government matriculation program that covers science, technical or accounting stream, caters for entry into public universities in Malaysia. If you plan to join University Malaya, UKM or USM, or any government university for your degree studies, it's important that you need to choose matriculation. Okay, the government university, they allow students to join their universities only if you have matriculation or STPM. So matriculation is government matriculation program, and STPM a widely recognized Malaysian university program that caters for arts or science stream. So remember this, students, if you plan to join government universities, important that for you to choose matriculation or STPM. And the other one is foundation studies. What is foundation study? Foundation studies is a foundation program designed by individual university. Each private university, they design this particular program to cater for students to continue to your own degree program. Okay, that's right. A foundation program designed by individual university, which is geared towards the degree program of that particular university. Okay, so if you wish that, example in SEGi University, Kota Damansara, so we have a dentistry program. So if you wanted to join our degree in dentistry, you need to study our foundation in science in SEGi University, which we cater especially for our dentistry program. So each private universities, they have designed their foundation program to be similar to. Okay. And then A level. A level is a widely accepted pre-university program from the UK. If you are thinking of, to continue your studies overseas, maybe you want to go to UK or to other countries outside Malaysia. The important that is for you to take note that A level is widely accepted all over the world. Okay, it's always good if you thinking if you have an idea of going overseas for your degree studies. So the right thing for you to do is actually to choose A level, and also Australian University program that lead to an Australian Year 12 qualification. If you have similar intention of going to Australia in the future to continue your degree, then the right thing for you to do is actually also to choose Australian University program or Australian matriculation, which I mentioned earlier. There's so many of it. South Australia matriculation, there's Western Australia certificate of education, and so many. So you can choose any one of it. And also Canadian pre-university program that is equivalent to secondary school diploma in Canada. You also can study Canadian pre-university program, which can give an access to study in Malaysia after the Canadian pre-university or to go to overseas tours. Yes, and also diploma program and industry-related academic program that one student with a diploma upon completion of the program, it prepares the student straight into the workforce. Some students, they don't want to do their degree. Or maybe I want to do diploma first. After I finish my diploma, I wanted to work. Maybe after that, I wanted to continue my degree, maybe on a part-time basis or maybe an online basis. Then if you are that particular student, then you can actually choose diploma. Okay. So after diploma, you can go straight away into the workforce. But if you're thinking of you completing degree straight away, then diploma is not the right thing for you. You can do foundation first and then continue with the degree. Or American degree program, a degree program based on the American education system, as mentioned earlier. An American or Canadian institution. When you are taking up this American degree program, the awarding institution will be not from Malaysia, definitely. It will be from America. Okay. Hope all of you are clear about some of the brief about the program description that I have shared here. This is the courses and discipline. Number of courses. Number of courses means students. It will be the subjects. How many subjects? Usually matriculation is science. Discipline will be science, accounting, or technical. STPM minimum will be 4, maximum will be 5. Science or non-science. Foundation studies depend on the program and the institution because, as I mentioned earlier, each university, they design these particular foundation studies to cater for the degree program. So it depends. A level minimum will be 3 subjects, maximum will be 4 subjects, usually science or non-science. Yeah. And also Australian university program usually is 5, including English. Can be a combination of courses from different disciplines. Canadian pre-university, 6 subjects. Can be a combination of courses from different disciplines too. And diplomas varies depending on the program. Okay, depending on the discipline nature of the diploma program. And American degree program varies depending on the program. Courses usually cover both arts and science disciplines. So, as you can see here, this is the courses, number of courses, and also the disciplines that's involved. Okay, assessment structure and other info. Okay, as you can see here, matriculation is coursework plus examination is 12 months. Students, exactly matriculation is a 12 months program. Yeah, it's 1 year. It's fast track. Yeah, fast track. STPM, as you can see here, is 18 months. Okay, 18 months means 1 year and 6 months. Foundation studies also is similar to matriculation, which is a 1-year program. That's right. So how does it being assessed? Is a coursework plus examination. A level is 100% examination, is 18 months. You also can see the average tuition fees here. Okay, the government one is very much affordable because it's subsidized, less than 1,000. Yeah, of course, you still have to pay for the examination fee, so it's very affordable. It's less than 1,000. Foundation studies average will be 18,000. A level average will be 28,000. And also it depends, subject to the university. Some university will be 28, some is 30, some is 35, some is 20. So average is 28,000. Australian Pre-University is a 10 months program. The average fees is about 21,000. Canadian Pre-University program is about 50 months program. The average fees is about 28,000. Diploma program is between 2 to 3 years. Some institution diploma program is 2 years. Some is 2 years, 4 months. Some is 2 years, 6 months. Sometimes it can go up to 3 years. The fees is usually is average about 35,000. American degree program, how does the assessment work? 70% on coursework and 30% on examination. Coursework students means assignments. Yeah, the duration of the study is 4 years, and average tuition fees is about 40,000. It is average. Some institutions charge you 60,000, 70,000. Some is 40,000. Okay, so I hope you understand about this. If you don't understand later after the finishing of this presentation, you can actually you can ask us. We will explain to you again. Okay. So which is for me? So there's so many out there, so many. So which is for me? Okay, to actually to advise you further. So I will explain to you some. So which program should I choose? Finance is money is the issue for me. Okay, I want to go for something which is, if possible, I don't want to pay, or I can only pay a small amount of money. Then less costly will be matriculation STP because it's subsidized by the government. And some academically inclined, meaning that I don't like, I like exam based. I don't like assignment and such. That you can choose STPM or a level. Short course, I want fast track. I don't want to wait for 18 months or 2 years. I want to do my free university studies fast. If possible, within a year. Then you can choose matriculation, foundation studies, Australian pre-university, or Canadian pre-university program. Continuous, if I want something which is continuous assessment. I clear semester one, and then I go for semester two. And then after I finish my semester two, I go for my semester three. Okay, so if you're that kind of person that you don't want to study everything and go for the exam after 18 months or 1 year, then you can choose this particular program, which is foundation studies, Australian University or Canadian University. After you do chemistry one, you don't visit chemistry one again. Okay, that's how it is. I already decided on the degree program that I wanted to study. I want to be a dentist. Then I want to do foundation, which is catered to do dentistry, or diploma or American degree program. I already decided that I want to be an accountant. I want to do Bachelor of Accounting in Finance. So I will do foundation in arts. So I already decided on what degree that I want to do. Then foundation, diploma is the most right thing. A degree overseas. After I've completed my pre-university studies, I want to fly overseas. But now, of course, it's a bit difficult now because, as you all know, the COVID-19 pandemic situation, parents especially, or maybe you want to go, parents especially are quite worried if you travel overseas. But still, if you want a degree overseas, the right thing for you is to study STPM because it's widely accepted all over the world. Yeah, yes, you're really right. STPM widely accepted. A level, definitely. Australian pre-university, Canadian pre-university, and also American degree program. Hands-on learning. Straight away I will go into the job description of the program. Then it's diploma studies. After, as I remember, I mentioned you earlier, after your diploma, you can already join the workforce. Yeah, diploma program will prepare you to be job ready and hands-on learning. Okay, all right. So I hope I have actually have helped you on choosing what program that you can do. Okay, factors to consider. Yeah, important as mentioned earlier. Okay, money is very important. Tuition fees here. You need to call up if you have decided what you want to do. Then you have to make your own research. How much is tuition fees on this university, and this university, and B university, C. So you need to see the important. Second thing is, whether it's very easy, for me to travel, or whether I'm from the universities in KL, but I'm from Ipoh, I'm from Johor Bahru. I know whether they have accommodation provided. Factors to consider. Okay, whether for me to travel, whether there is MRT, LRT, or there's a bus station. So this is the factor that you need to consider. Whether this is accredited program by Malaysian qualification accreditation, whether this is a legal program. So it's very important for you to check whether this particular program is recognized by JPA or by MQA. That's very important for you. You need to check all this. Very important. Okay, and I'm whether in this particular university there is a student activities and such, because I'm very much active. So you need to consider all this before. So when you call up the university, this is the question that you need to ask. That's very important. Okay, and another important thing, whether there's any hidden cost, whether the university might mention to you that the fees is 50,000, and when you go there, they say, "Oh, you have to pay this extra. You have to pay this extra." Whether there's any other hidden cost before you join the program, you need to ask all these important questions to that particular university's concern. That's very important. Okay. Okay, and then since this is SEGi University Kota Damansara, SEGi University Kota Damansara is actually in Pecaling Jaya. Has been around for the last 44 years, founded on 1977. Yeah. So what program that university program that we have in SEGi University Kota Damansara is actually Foundation in Science and Foundation in Art. This is the pre-university program that is actually available in SEGi University Kota Damansara. Of course, we have so many degree programs. We have from foundation up to PhD and so much of degree programs as well. So if you want to know more further about the program that are being offered in SEGi University Kota Damansara, you can visit our website at www.segi.edu.my, or you can WhatsApp us. That's our official WhatsApp number, or you can contact our university at 0361451777. Okay. Now it's a questioning and answering session.
All right. All right. I'm going to remove your screen now,
Sure.
Samson.
Sure.
All right. So it's just us back in the panel. All right. So now that we're nearing the end of the session, let's just go over the Q&A. If you just look over the comment section, you'll see a couple of questions right there.
Okay, I can see that. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Okay, from Melina Priyanka John.
All right. I'll click on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of taking a gap year. I'm thinking of taking gap year, but everyone is telling me to go for college as soon as possible. What's your advice on this? Is it bad for me to delay my studies for a year? Melina, this is a very good question, Melina. If you ask me, better don't take a gap year now, because and nothing much we can do as well. As I mentioned earlier, Melina, most of the time, those days, what the students will do is, okay, I take a gap year. I want to explore the world. I want to go out. I want to feel how this world outside. But you can't do that anymore. Okay. Well, well, I would actually advise you to continue your studies, because that's what most of the students are doing now as well. Because of pandemic, even there's no much of employments available after they completed their diploma. They are not going to job workforce. They are continuing their degree. So I will say that it's good for you to continue, or maybe not so soon, because you see some of the universities, they will have intake on September. So you can actually maybe not on July, or maybe on September, maybe 2 months break. I think that'll be good for you, and then you continue. Okay, I think it's better for you to continue your studies this year. Okay, I hope I've answered you. Okay, and then the second one is Zul Fazrina Anisa. Okay. My SPM result is not very good, but I want to be a lawyer. Is it possible to go for diploma, then degree in law? Okay. Well, in order for you to study law, usually the correct pathway will be A level. Okay, A level will be the correct pathway. What you can do, I don't know how bad is your results, because it's, you say, not very good, because it's very subjective. For some students, even 5A is not good, because they want 5A plus. So it's always good for you to check with some of the private institution who are offering law program, whether you're qualified to do their pre-universities studies. If of course, if you are not eligible to do their pre-university studies in law, then you can actually choose an option to do diploma in law and then continue with degree in law. Maybe the pathway will take longer, I see, but you will realize your dream of becoming a lawyer later on. But of course, foundation or A level to law degree LLB will be much more better. Okay, hope I
Alright.
have answer that. And then the following one is Aina Izati Rosli. Okay.
Yes. All right.
What if I still don't know what I want to study? What's pre option that let me try out the widest? Okay, this is a very good question. This is, I would say, about 30 to 40% students is in your category, Aina. Aina, if you are science stream student, okay, if you're a science stream student, the right thing for you to do is to do foundation in science, elective, general elective. Okay, I repeat that one more time. If you are from the science stream, just do foundation in science, go into general elective, because after you have completed your foundation in science, you can almost go to any degree that you wanted to. Okay, this if you are from the science stream. If you are from the art stream, do foundation in arts first. Okay, and usually in foundation arts, there won't be any general elective. There will be only specific elective. On your semester one, usually will be just core subjects. But I think by semester two, you need to decide already, on what degree that you need to do. If you're from the science stream, the option is very wide. If you're from the art stream, you have to consider by semester two of your foundation studies. Okay, and then you can decide. Okay, but no harm by doing your foundation arts in any discipline. Later part, you also can go to degree program which can be articulated from foundation arts. Okay, hope I answer you that. And then I have the last one here. I think Teresa Lynn David.
Yes.
I
Yes.
heard, I heard, I heard foundation program can be very restrictive in terms of what subject we can pursue with it. Why do you think students should? Okay, why do you think students should still go for it then? I heard foundation program be very restrictive means if you want to go to overseas, Teresa, if you want to go to overseas, foundation is not the right program. It's good for you to do A level or STPM, because it's widely recognized all over the world. Foundation is for students who would like to continue in Malaysia. Okay, continue in Malaysia. And why foundation is popular in Malaysia? Because the duration is only 1 year. Okay, is 1 year. After you completed your foundation, you can articulate the degree easily. And he also who we suggest, which kind of student we suggest to do foundation, also students who have decided what degree that they wanted to do. So they have to choose, I want to do accounting and finance, and this particular university, they have accounting and finance, and they also have foundation in arts, elective and accounting finance, which can actually give me the platform to continue degree in accounting finance, and I will choose this. So it can be very restrictive. Not very restrictive. Restrictive if you want to go to overseas, but usually most of the students in Malaysia, when we talk to them, they prefer to do foundation because it's not so expensive. Not so expensive. Okay, it's quite affordable. And it's just 1 year. I can finish it after my very fast. I just got my results. I just got my results yesterday. I can enter by end of the month. I can start my program of July, and I can finish by next year June, and then I can think about doing my degree. So
Mm.
like maybe like STPM or I level, 18 months of studies and 3 months of waiting for the exam results. So the time, the timing is not right. Also, there is pro and cons, as I mentioned earlier. It depends on what you want. If you want to go to
Yeah.
overseas, then you have to do this. Yeah. If I want to graduate faster, then don't do A level or STPM. Do foundation.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's how it is. Okay. Hope I have. Yeah. Hope I have answered that as well. Teresa is a good question. Nothing is a bad. All is a
Um,
good question.
I
Yeah.
have a couple of questions on my end when I was watching us as was
Oh,
transitioning. Yeah, so
please,
I have
Nina.
yeah, I have some questions about the foundation program. I
Mhm.
believe that you mentioned that usually program foundations are catered specifically to the university's degree programs, right?
You are right. You're
So
right.
yeah, so instances where let's say students took a degree, sorry, a foundation program from a certain university, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe for certain reason they have to like drop out or things like that, or they just ended there
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't continue their foundation in the same university. Is it possible
Okay.
that they do their degree in a different university, considering that most of it
Well,
actually?
it's a good question, Ina. It's a good question. The answer is yes and no. Okay.
Okay,
Yes means if it's a local private university, it's widely acceptable.
okay,
It's local, meaning that University A is a private local Malaysia university.
okay.
After the student have completed from this university on their foundation studies, degree, if you want to go to a B university, which is also a private Malaysian university,
Mm-hmm.
then it's fine. It's not an issue.
All
So the
right,
complication can be only arise if they want to go to foreign universities.
I see. I
Because foreign
see.
universities sometimes they don't recognize foundation studies. Some university
Mm,
does,
I see. I
right?
see. I see.
So that's the thing. If the students wanted to go to UK or to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
so why they accepted is A level and
Right.
STPM such, right? If the student
Right.
don't want to go to overseas, then just do foundation. So it's a good
All
question.
right.
So I hope I answer you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Nina.
yeah, you did, you did, you did. Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
nice, nice,
All
nice.
right. So my second question is basically
Mm-hmm.
about Australian for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that because I saw the comparison between A levels and Australian, and I know that A levels it's widely accepted everywhere. And you specifically mentioned about Australian being, going to an Australian university. What about students
Mm-hmm.
who sort of they like the course program for Australian PU? It's not too rigid, it's not
Mm-hmm.
too exam based,
Mm-hmm.
but because and then it's a lot more cheaper, I believe, and it's a lot quicker. So can students who
Uh,
take Australian PU are they only bound to Australian universities?
okay. Well, good question. Good
Mm-hmm.
question. It's always good if a student wanted to pursue their degree in Australia or New Zealand for
Right.
them to take up the Australian matriculation, which is so many of them. There's Victoria, VCE, certificate education, there's Murphy, and such. But in certain extent, that or maybe I love the assessment part of it. I love the duration part of it. Or maybe it's not cheap. It's not cheap, Lina.
Oh yeah, I mean, a comparison to like A levels,
It's
yes.
not cheap. It can be expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it can be expensive. Well, if they wanted to go to UK or to America, they have is it depends on that particular university to accept them
I
or not.
see.
So, as mentioned earlier, widely accepted is actually STPM and LM.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All
that's right.
right.
That's right.
Basically,
That's
that's the
right.
only question from me. I think I don't think we have any other questions from the audience, and
Yeah, I can.
uh,
Thank.
yeah.
Welcome, Aina. Welcome, Teresa. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So I believe we've
Yeah.
come to the end of our session. Just to wrap things up,
Mhm.
Mr. Sampson,
Yeah.
do you have
Yeah.
any parting words of advice for students who are nervous about venturing into
Oh,
this big next phase into their life?
oh, of course, it's going to be nervous. We all went through that as well.
Mm,
But this is the most important and exciting time. It's the most important, exciting time. This is the time that you have to work hard. Put your effort. For the next 4 to 5 years, because after this next 4 or 5 years, you're going to go to the work for which is a different dimension, different challenges. So I wish you all the best. Just please, whatever that I share earlier, please, because I've been in the industry for many years, many years. Very important to choose what you want to do. But of course, there's some in some cases that the student did this particular program, but it ended up doing something else. Okay, oh, they are successful in their own way too, but it takes times and effort. But it's always good if you do what you study. That's very important, put your thought into it, listen to yourself, that's very important. Listen to your heart, listen to your family, listen to your parents, listen to your role models, that's very important. Wish you all the best. If you have any questions, if you want to know more a private counseling session, you can contact SEGi University Kota Damansara. We have counselors standby ready, to counsel you. Yeah, that's my best wishes to all of you. Right.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Samson, for your insights and perspective. That was a very elaborative, and I think it's a complete pathway for students who are still confused. I feel like if any, I also feel like I learned a lot. I wish I
Oh,
had this when I got my SPM visa, because it was a very confusing stage even
I,
growing
I,
up.
I don't have I don't have that too, Nina.
Yeah, exactly.
I follow what my elders ask me to do.
Exactly. But it's a good opportunity for them to sort of explore what are their actual options out there. And I
Right,
hope
right.
that the audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Thank you so much,
I
Ms.
hope so.
Sampson. It'll be good to
Welcome,
have you
welcome.
again in our next session, perhaps.
Sure, will do.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you. Bye
day.
bye. Bye
Bye
bye. God
bye.
bless. Take care. Bye.
All right. Thank you to our audience who tuned in to our session with Mr. Sampson of SEGi University. Up next, we have Dr. Nafis Alam from Asia Pacific University who'll share with you everything there is to know on fintech. So don't go anywhere and stay tuned. Now, if you're at the fair, do visit SEGi University's virtual booth and check out all the offering programs that's available. If you're confused about anything that Mr. Sampson has showcased, you can just ask their counselors. You can even ask our counselors at the info desk. In the meantime, let's check out what SEGi has prepared for us. All right, welcome back to those of you who have just joined in. Welcome to our webinar series that's part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair. We have an exciting lineup of speakers who will be weighing in on a variety of topics such as deciding pathway after SPM, fintech and future of accounting, banking and finance, as well as employment, income, demand, and job quality in TVET education and training. I'm noticing that our next speakers are already in, so I'll do a brief introduction. I'll bring in our next speaker, Inya. Hi, doctor.
Hi Nina, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm good. How are things with you?
Yeah, it is doing pretty good. It started out very smoothly today. Very excited to hear on your session today. I'm actually looking forward about fintech. Our last session is pretty interesting. I feel like I learned a lot. So I'm very excited for this session.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll do a quick introduction. Today, to our audience, today we have Professor Dr. Nafis Alam, head of the School of Accounting and Finance at Asia Pacific University, who will be sharing with us on fintech and the future of accounting, banking, and finance. So a very quick background. Professor Dr. Nafis Alam is a professor of finance and the head of School of Accounting and Finance at Asia Pacific. Apart from his role at APU, Dr. Nafis is also a research affiliate of Cambridge Centre for Alternative Finance at Judge Business School, University of Cambridge, and contributes regularly to a global industry report on fintech and financial regulations. He has co-authored 8 books on Islamic finance and fintech and has published his work in leading journals including the World Economy, Pacific Basin Finance Journal, and Journal of Banking Regulation, among others. With more than 15 years of working experience in the finance and education industry, Dr. Nafis was featured as the Professor of the Month by Financial Times in 2014, awarded for Upcoming Personality in Islamic Finance 2016, and listed as the world's top 100 influencers in the area of fintech and mentors fintech platform in the SEA region. So we basically have somebody who is an expert in fintech, basically, right? Dr. Nafis, thank you. It's an honor to have you here today. Before we begin, to our quick audience, just a quick one. If you have any question for Dr. Nafis, leave a comment on your respective platform. I will get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out APU's virtual booth while you're at the fair. Right, Doctor, I noticed that you already have your slides ready. I'll just pull your slides into the screen. All right, whenever you're ready, you may start presenting now, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much, Nina, and thanks to the participants who have joined me this afternoon. I think we are starting ahead of the time. It's supposed to be 3 p.m., but it's a wonderful afternoon. It's a bright, sunny day here. So I will take you to the journey of what's happening in the world of fintech and how the scenario or the environment will change for the accounting, banking, and finance. And keeping that in the mind, let me see if I can, because I have to see whether it's working or not. Correct me, nudge me if you are not able to see my slide by any possible way.
All right, Doctor.
So if we look into, there is a concern growing out in the market. Many people are asking that, jobs will be taken over by robots. They are already happening. If you have seen across in the hospitality industry, if you have seen in the manufacturing industry, if you have seen in logistics, telecommunication, even in banking, for example, you hardly go and see the individuals these days, and people are getting concerned that the humans will be replaced by the robots. And definitely the future of the global economy lies with the automation, lies with the digital transformation. But one thing I really want to correct is that robots will never be able to overtake humans. Why? One thing is that we have created robots and we need them for what the purpose they have been created for. So now the situation is that if the robots are going to be working alongside humans, what will be the impact on the financial services, including accounting, banking, and finance? Will there be losses? Definitely yes. Some of the jobs will become redundant, like the front end jobs in terms of the tellers, and the number of people working in a branch will be reduced. The number of people who are talking on the customer cares will be reduced. Why? Because people will be looking into bots. People will be going through the automated chat bots where you will only hear human unless things are beyond the control of the robot. So yes, jobs will be reduced, but again, I will put a disclaimer here that humans will never be replaced by the robots. It's only about the survival of the fittest. And when I say survival of the fittest means the humans or the graduates who are going to work in these industry carry forward or have the right skills, knowledge, and abilities to perform their jobs in the going world. And please keep in mind that whatever we're talking now in 2021, I started talking about this way back. If you look at my article titled Why Robots Could Be the Future of Finance, I wrote almost 4 years ago, 6th of July 2017. It was republished by World Economic Forum as well. And it has been garnered a huge amount of readership. So it's not something new, and what we're talking today might be again be an old fact if we go into the next couple of years. And I believe a lot of students here who are listening to me, and even the parents who are looking to identify the right courses for their kids, after they graduate, things would have been changed differently as well. So the financial services or any industry is going through huge transformation, and pandemic has further boosted the companies or the industry to look into digitization and how to do the things remotely. And there comes the technology, there comes the automation, which is going to be the future. So again, yes, jobs will be lost, but not all of them. In fact, new jobs might be also created, but only the people who have the right skill and right knowledge will be able to survive. And keeping that in mind, I will try to take you through a quick overview of fintech. Mind it that this is a full blown topic and an area. Sometime, I teach a module on fintech for my master students, which takes 42 hours. So even to explain fintech overview in a short span of time is a challenging task. I will talk about how fintech is impacting banking and finance, and what will be the key message today will be to see that what will be the future of accounting, banking, and finance in the view of the technology advancement in the financial services. What will happen to the job? Because end of the day, we are looking to complete our education, our qualification, and then go into the job market. I understand the job market is challenging at the moment, given that economy is still recovering from the year-long effect of pandemic. We still don't see a very clear, uh, uh, you know, uh, uh, visibility that things will become okay by this year, or it's still take time. In my opinion, we still have a long way to go, at least a year from now onward, when things will become more stable. So what will happen to the job when the companies are curtailing, and how this will impact with the advent of automation or digitization in the market? And finally, I will have a very quick to look into that what APU have to offer. If you are interested to know more about it, you can go to the virtual booth, or I will share my details, and I believe my marketing team people will be also available to answer some of your questions. Now, one thing which has changed drastically is about the branch banking. When we talk about branch banking, it means that how frequent people visit branch and what is the role of the branch. If many of you would have grown up, visiting branches along with your parents and grandparents, and some people who might be parents also looking at, they would have been going to branches very regularly. But things have changed, and some of you will say that yeah, people are not visiting bank branch because of the COVID and the banks are closed, or the branch have reduced working hours, or because of the lockdown in different part of the world, we can't visit bank, right? But this is not the data which I'm sharing after the COVID. This was done before the COVID. So this was the data from 2019. And the reason why I'm still sharing it, because things have even changed drastically. So even before the COVID struck, almost two-thirds of the people who have any bank account are either not visiting, or at maximum they are visiting once in a month. So imagine, why a company, why a bank will keep a premises where they will have a branch, and it's not easy. Retail cost has gone up also, especially in the highly density business area or the prime location. It's a big cost for the banks. In fact, in the UK, many banks have already started closing. In fact, in Malaysia also, some banks have already curtailed the operation, where they have limited people visiting that. So this thing happened much earlier than COVID struck, and things have become more changed after the COVID. In fact, this data, if I talk from my recent readings, people are not even visiting, they're more than 80% of population, until unless they need to go and do something manually, otherwise everything can be done. So this is a complete transformation. For every small banking activity, we used to visit bank, but now you don't visit bank. So if you don't visit bank, how the operations is been done, how the activities is being carried out, it's all related to the technology. And the technology is something what we're talking about is fintech, right? Now, whenever we talk about the word fintech, which stands for financial technology in short, people think that, oh, it is a new buzzword created in the market, but this is not a new concept. For your information, again, this is a trivia. Fintech word was coined almost 30 years ago in 1992 by the Cisco system, when they thought that any technology being applied into financial services sector will be called fintech for short. but fintech never get that traction, that buzzword or the keyword or a Google trend in the early days. People never talked about fintech. In fact, if you go back and look into anything which have been to do with the what you call the technology or the advancement of the banking operation, even ATM would be classified as a fintech, because you can withdraw money at any point in time. Online banking can be considered as a fintech, which happened even beyond the fintech term was coined. So we have like online banking, we have internet banking, those terms being used popularly. But fintech only became popular after the 2008 crisis. In fact, from 2012 onward, people started talking about, and last few years is like the best buzzword in the world of finance. In fact, if you go for any interview and if people ask you, do you know what is fintech? And you said, I don't ever heard of the word fintech, you might not be even considered for the job. Because if you are going to operate, interact with the financial services, you need to know the word fintech. So in the last couple of years, the traction has become more visible. People are talking about every financial institution, every policymakers, every regulators who have any interaction with the financial services will know about fintech and will talk about fintech. I started talking about fintech at least five years ago, when I started exploring the area of fintech and what are the challenges and what are the opportunities we have in the thing. Again, this is the heart of my presentation today. The reason why, because this is going to explain what is fintech. As I mentioned, fintech is a short word for financial technology, and basically it is nothing but a combination of the technology. It's a marriage between technology and the financial services. When I say financial services, I'm not saying only banking and finance. Even accounting is finance, because you're doing bookkeeping and you're looking into managing your finance as well. So anything to do with the money using the technology will become the fintech domain. Now, fintech is if you look into that, cut across every area of financial services, but the impact is different. The biggest impact felt by fintech is the payment. The reason why payment, because payment is the one thing which all of us does. We do almost every day, because we buy goods, whether we buy online, whether we buy physically, whether we get delivered to your house or whatever, not whether it's buying the household goods, or whether you are doing payment for utilities, we're doing payment for your services which you get. Everything requires some type of payment. Now, what happened in the payment has used to be a very traditional type of payment, where mostly you used to do a cash based transaction. You will pay the ringgit or dollars for your goods and services. But recently, people started carrying less and less cash because of the advent of the debit card, credit card, and then came the something called wallet, where you can top up wallet and you can pay via wallet. I think all of you who are listening to me must have heard about wallet like Grab, Cash and Go, Boost, Alipay, and so on. And you would have at least paid one time without using a cash-based transaction. So now what happened to the payment? Payment used to be done with the credit card, or initially with the credit or debit card that was issued by the bank. So only the bank institution will have the option to do the payment. But after that, what happened? The non-banking institutions started to come into that space, and then we started to have wallets. And now we can also have lot of other type of payment gateway. For example, you have Alipay. You can use Phone Pay in India, for example. You can use Paytm. You can use PayPal. All these are not even non-banking. They are startups, right? And some of the startups are very, very new. What happened that they started giving you option? I don't know how many of you have heard about BigPay. BigPay is also very popular in Malaysia, which is not backed by any bank, but it's a part of the Alipay group as well. So again, you can use the BigPay as one of the debit card, and you can top up, you can have a wallet, and you can do the payment. So payment is completely getting transformed. You don't need to have a bank account. You don't need to have a credit card. And now something new coming up. I'm not sure whether, when I spoke last time on EduAdvisor, I didn't talk about something called BNPL. I don't know whether you have heard about this term or not, but BNPL means buy now, pay later. What happens in that? Usually, if you have a credit card, you can do a installment of your payment. You can have a 12-month installment. You can have 2 years of installment, and every month there will be a monthly reduction from your credit card, and you have to pay your bills based on that. But now what happening? People do not have any credit card, because it's not sometimes easy to get a credit card if you're not working, or if you do not have a regular source of income, you still want to buy things on installment, right? So now what the new startup in the fintech world started to emerge is called the buy now pay later. So even if you don't have a credit card, what you can do, you can use the facility of BNPL, and you can make any payment into a equal installment for the next 6 months, the next 1 year, next 2 years, depending on the threshold limit of the providers. So that is also something new which is coming. Again, you don't need a bank, you don't need a credit card, you don't need any established financial institution. Investment also changing. Why? Because in the early days, it was all wealth managers who will advise you to invest into uh, life insurance funds. If you want to invest into the stocks, you want to invest into the bonds, and based on they will have a lot of charts, they will have a lot of sheets to show you that how the investment has performed over a period of 5 years time, how much return you will make, what is the expected growth of your fund, and so on. But now investment is no more traditional. It's all again becoming very much automated with the use of robo advisory, for example, using the artificial intelligence, using the machine learning concept, where you feed in a lot of data, and the data will be churned out, and based on your return and risk profile of the customer, the automated advisory will be given to you, where to invest, how much to invest, and what are the risk and return involved in that. So investment and advisory has become automated. Again, this will be more and more challenging, or more and more sophisticated when it comes to the high net worth individual. It can be mix of lot of financial assets, even for example, tokens or cryptos and so on. So again, it's no more traditional. Insurance, you don't have to go to the established insurance player. Again, we have a lot of new insurance startups. For example, lemonade, names sound very interesting. We're not drinking any lemonade here, but lemonade is one of the biggest non-traditional insurance player, because they started as a startup company, and then now they're doing one of the fastest growing insurtech. We call them insurtech because they are insurance technology firm, and they're doing everything based on the technology. Again, for example, in insurance, early days, whether you are a good driver or bad driver, your yearly car insurance will be similar for every type of the driver, right? Now, most of the things which we buy are IoT enabled, Internet of Technology enabled. So, for example, if you're driving a automated car, or if you're driving a car which collects data based on how much you are speeding, are you a good driver or a bad driver, even your insurance policy can be custom made. So, if you believe that you are a very safe driver on the road, why you should be paying a higher premium compared to the people who are rash driver on the road, right? And that's how the technology, the data which we feed into the insurance industry will try to give you, and you have multiple options to choose on. And everything, if you look into the fintech world, is driven by one important thing, which is your digital footprint. It's a big data we call. But the reason we call it big data, because data is huge. It is zillions of bytes of data available there. Right now, we are using a StreamYard, and we are using different IPs, and even this is being collected, right? You guys have registered for this seminar, and your data has been captured. What are your interests? How many of you are learning about fintech? Even university can use these data to see who are your target market, how many are from the Klang Valley, how many are from the north and south of the country, what is the age group, what are the gender and all. So now we are looking at data to give more information to the providers, and providers can custom made the solution and custom made the products which is more beneficial to you. So everything has been driven by the big data in the fintech industry. And one thing which is the remaining one is the financing. Again, a way traditional, everybody definitely needs some type of financing where to buy a car. And most of the people who graduate, from my experience, the students whom I taught, the first thing when they end up getting a job is to buy a car, right? And when you're going to buy a car, you need a car loan, right? Again, the loan or the financing or the lending has been very traditionally focused. Bank will ask for your 3 month salary. Bank will ask for your if you have any collateral. If you're going for house loan and all, for example, the bigger loan, then they will ask for collateral. If there anybody who can be referencing you out, so make sure that you are not going to make any default. But right now, you don't need banks. You can even have crowdfunding, and you can even have peer-to-peer lending. For example, if you have a very good business idea, but you do not have any collateral, you go to bank, no bank will help you. Why? The bank will say, if your business collapse, what will happen? How I get my money back? and bank will be always scared to give the bad loans, right? But if you have a good idea and if you are an entrepreneur person and you need loan, what you will do? You put up an idea on a crowdfunding platform. Crowdfunding platform have a lot of venture capitalists, angel investors out sitting there, and it's a marriage between the entrepreneur and the investors or the venture capitalists. So you can get your financing via the crowdfunding platform. You can even go for peer-to-peer lending. For example, if one of you have money, other person have idea, why don't you invest, get some shares and do the profit sharing, for example. So again, lending club is becoming like that. Your friends and families can join and they can invest into a good profitable idea, for example. So again, financing is no more traditionally based. Again, I am rushing for time. I understand I have to keep the time in perspective. But again, every aspect of the financial services, you can see that the common ones, payment, investment, insurance, financing, advisory, all are getting automated. Now imagine if you have to work in this industry, what type of skills you need, right? You can't be going and looking into the similar knowledge or information which the traditional people used to do that. Again, you don't need the similar number of people to work in the companies because many things are automated. So earlier, people used to do manual calculation for investment. People used to do manual insurance form for those things. People used to have collection of the bills over the counter, right? But things are getting automated. So again, the industry is getting transformed in that particular way. Now, again, you will say that, yeah, it's all about the buzzword, what's happening here in the industry. The industry is growing hugely. Why? Because there's a lot of investment coming. In fact, we did a study with the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, where I'm a research affiliate, and we found that fintech industry was one industry which was not short of money even during the pandemic, because VCs are also looking for the investment into the profitable sector. I gave you a snapshot here. If you can see that, yes, there have been impact in the quarter 1, 2, and 3 of the 2020, because that was the period when the pandemic was at max. But you can see in quarter 4 already the fintech industry is bouncing back, and the investment is again flowing back. And I'm talking about is a global investment into $50 billion of dollar in just one quarter. If you look into 2019 data, 2019 was the prime year for the fintech industry, $108 billion in just, for example, in quarter 3 of that. So you can see there's a huge investment. Again, also look into the blue line, which tracks how many deals. Deal means how many fintech startups have been supported, and the numbers are on your right side of the graph. If you look into the overall this one snapshot, almost everybody who have any interaction with the financial services provider, at least 2/3 of the people have at least used one or other fintech platform. And also, if anybody has a smartphone, definitely you will have one of the fintech platform into your smartphone, because you are using smartphone and the apps to do your financial activity. There are more than 15,000 startups. Not all of them are unicorn. In fact, only 10% of, not even 10%, I will say, maybe only 1,000 or less than 1,000 will be the unicorn. Unicorn means they have achieved the valuation of more than $1 billion of dollar. But again, the things are growing. And again, the countries which are developing and which are underdeveloped are the biggest home for the fintech growth. Why? Africa is the hotspot for fintech growth. Why? At the moment, because Africa is one country where you do not have access to finance, so where there is a less option to have a finance, fintech industry is growing. So you have opportunity as well. For example, if you're working with the multinational companies into the fintech world, you might be looking at a lot of job opportunities into developing part of the world where the fintech is growing. Again, these are some of the snapshots to look into that. Again, some other snapshot. Now, if you talk about how many people know about fintech, a recent study by EY say that at least 3 out of 4, 75% of people have used fintech services worldwide. So things are improving. That was the last year data. This is the current data, which has further increased to 75% of that. Look at the values. Look at the number of fintech. For example, every year 500 plus fintechs are created, but mind you, I know more than 80% of them will not be a successful one, because they might have a redundant or similar type of technology or similar type of operation. But many of them are also they're giving big time competition to the established bank. 2 billion people are unbanked. When you have unbanked people in the world, that means you have opportunity to use fintech. Fintech can reach places where you do not need a physical presence of the bank. You can give loan to the people, you can give payment option to the people, and that's what's happening in many underdeveloped part of the world. Again, if you look into the profit, if the banks are going to implement digitization into the thing, they are going to have more than 30% jump in the profit. More than 40% of the banks are getting disrupted by machine learning. We're talking about usage of the machine learning and the artificial intelligence in giving customized solution, giving them the customized output where you can have a decision making, better decision making and all. Again, keeping time in constraint, we're not going to talk about blockchain and ICOs and things like that. But again, everything is getting automated. You can see that. Again, a recent study by PwC, which says that 82% of the traditional company, when I say traditional company, means established bank and established insurance company, and they are going to collaborate with fintech. So you cannot just leave fintech saying that fintech is a small player. No, fintech is growing. Fintech is growing at such a high pace that fintech might be overtaking in some jurisdiction. And again, those banks which are not ready enough to do that, they will be the loser, and they will be losing heavily into that aspect. Among the traditional thing, they are also looking into to collaborate. I think this is a repetitive of the point which I mentioned earlier there. Many of you are from Malaysia, I believe, and if you're looking into Malaysia, what is the snapshot in Malaysia? Malaysia is also growing rapidly in terms of the fintech space, and the different area segment is no more different in Malaysia compared to the global statistics. Remember, I talked about that payment is the heavily impacted industry. In Malaysia also, payment is the biggest pie for the fintech world. 19% of the fintech in Malaysia is in the payment sector, and next are the wallets. Again, wallets are also used for payment. So if you can see that 1/3 of the fintech industry, fintech startups are in Malaysia are in the payment or wallet. Cryptocurrency is also growing. You must have heard of the Bitcoin, and you must have seen that people are now investing heavily into the cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all. And the exchange to maneuver or to facilitate the transaction, you're also getting digital asset exchange coming up into that. The other areas of crowdfunding, regtech, investment, blockchain, which are also doing that. I pulled up a recent study which was only published a month and a half ago. It was fintech 2020 report for Malaysia, and if you can see that everything has tremendously increased in 1 year time. This is all about jump from the previous year to the last year. We're talking about from 2019 to 2020 because all the information was collected until the end of the year. So look in Malaysia, for example, online banking has increased by 50%, from 1.7 billion transaction now 2.5 billion. Again, some of them will be contributed to the pandemic, but that doesn't mean that they are not going through digitization. E-wallet transaction definitely has increased heavily because people have reduced using cash. Everybody prefer cashless transaction. Everybody prefer contactless transaction, and that's why you can see that e-wallet transaction is increasing. Merchant registration for QR code, because that's one of the requirements. You don't need to collect cash. You don't want to pay via cash because even there was study that cash can carry the COVID virus. Again, that has not been very much scientifically proven unless it has been there for a very long period of time. So you can see that in Malaysia also the growth is there. So if there is a growth in the fintech industry, that also relates back to the growth into the graduates and the demand for the graduate in the fintech industry. If you look in the fintech ecosystem, these are some of the top companies. There's a fintech 250, I will say. And again, as I mentioned to you, there are more than 15,000, but not all of them are big. These are the bigger ones, and you can see that they are everywhere in the world. They are the one who have huge valuation. They are all unicorn here, and they are divided into different segments, which I explained to you earlier, whether in terms of the accounting and finance softwares, regulation, real estate, mortgages, the automation, core banking. So you can see that, in order to work in the financial services, you need to have an idea. What is fintech? How fintech is enabling or helping the financial institution or even providing the option to the user to perform there. Look into digital banking, out of here, Revolut and Chime. Recently, I was reading an article that now Chime is growing faster than any particular bank in the US. They are number one neobanks. For those who are not aware, Malaysia has already confirmed that they're going to offer 6 licenses for the digital banking next year, and they are already companies like Axiata, Grab, and all have put up the paper to do that. So there will be a discussion at Negara level, and they will be issuing the digital banking license. Digital banking means banks without branches. That means and these will not be the same banks like Maybank or Publix or CIMBs of the likes. You know why? Because you can be partnered with some of the startups there, but you cannot have a Maybank digital banking because you already have an online banking operation. So these will be new players. Even Malaysia is going to give 6 new digital banking licenses. Imagine if these banks comes into the picture, what will be the impact on the existing traditional bank? And when these banks will come, they also need people to work with them, and that's why we are talking about why you need to learn about fintech and what is the importance there, right? I think I talked a lot about the ecosystem about, and I try to link also with the future job prospect for you. But also remember that when we talk about technology, technology in the financial services, we call it is the building block ABCD. It's easy to remember that what we are doing into the technology trend, and these are the trend which is going to be there in the financial services industry. A definitely is for artificial intelligence. Why? Because the amount of data we are collecting, and I told you, on a daily basis, you as a user, people who are listening to me right now, all of you leave thousands of digital footprint, and you cannot simply process that much. You need supercomputer, you need quantum computing, you need technology, you need AI based technology, which will go into to do the lot of analysis for you, and that is how it has been done by feeding the big data into a system. Again, more and more, and when we use AI based insight, it gives you a different perspective. It gives you to look into how the risks are there, what kind of decision making can be done, what are the products which people are not using it, what are the products people are going to use more, and those insights, the visualization coming out of that, in output from the AI based system gives you a lot of indication to the policy makers, to the bankers, to the people who are working in the bank to make decisions. Blockchain, again, we are going into a distributed ledger technology. Whatever transactions which we are going to do is going to be based on the blockchain. Nina, let me know when how much time I have more. I think I have until 3:45, if not mistaken. So blockchain will be using distributed technology where every transaction will be can be tracked, can be transparent, and all the people who are supposed to get the information. The common usage of blockchain at the moment is the cryptocurrency, where people who are buying and selling can see the transaction. Nowadays, the big banks are already using blockchain to do the international transfer. Citibank, JP Morgan, there is a conglomerate of the banks which have invested heavily into the technology and looking into the blockchain. The future of blockchain will be also into the CBDC. I again understand many of you have not heard about it, but CBDC stands for the central bank digital currency. In fact, central bank is also thinking of not printing any more cash. They're thinking of everything to have digital currency. Why? Because it will be easy to process, it will be easy to issue, and it will be easy to track as well. But again, there is a privacy concern which I am a bit critic of it. C stands for cloud computing. Why we are looking at that? Because now the companies, when Asia gets up, America sleep, right? And we're talking about information, especially for the multinational banks. And multinational bank portfolio is everywhere, right? You are looking at your position into the Asian market, into the European market, into the African market, into the West market, in the States, and so on. And what you are doing, that you have information everywhere. So you are not doing a manual operation or a manual computational thing into your own PC. Everything is being done on a computer, on the cloud, and anybody who are party to it can access the information, can use the information, and can take a decision. People who have been given authority to use those, again, those are a higher level of security, because those are also risky for cyber security concern matter, but people are moving away. So even, for example, you don't need again a physical presence. Why? Because you don't have to store the data physically into a server in a particular place. So why you need to have a bank, or why you need to have a accounting firm where you want to keep so many records out there? Everything can be put into the clouds. And data analytics go back again to the artificial intelligence. We talk about collection of huge amount of data, analyzing it, and giving you insightful information. So analytics become very important. Data science is again an industry where you should be looking to work on. I talked a lot about on the banking and finance example, but some of you who are looking to learn on the accounting side will say that why is fintech is only for financial in the finance and banking side? No, accounting and finance goes hand in hand. Because if you are dealing with money, you also need to know how the money is being tracked, how the money is being has a bookkeeping, where the money is coming from, where the money is going to. So you need to have a ledger, you need to have a balance sheet, and you also need to know your cash position, right? So the technology is equally impacting the accounting sector as well. And what are the key areas where the impact is taking place? It is in the area of strategic accounting, again decision making. Remember we talked about using the data analytics, using the artificial intelligence, the information coming. So what are the implications? So how do your cash reserve look like? How much is your credit cycle? Where the money will come from? How much time you can give into your collection, or how much time you give to your suppliers? And those are important criteria for the accountant to make sure that the company has a healthy cash position. Auditing is a huge amount of manual. People used to read the annual reports. People need to audit all the accounts, need to audit all the transaction, need to audit all the information, where the money has been coming from, money is going to make to have an overview, right? But the amount of data and information is tremendous out there. So again, the auditors are no more using manual work. They are going into robo auditing. So they have a system, they have solution, they have softwares which they are using to track the common issues in the audit reports. They look into the how the auditing will be improved using the artificial intelligence. Again, things are getting automated, things are getting on cloud. As I mentioned to you earlier, big four are not only operation in one country, big four are operation globally, and they need to have information. They need to, again, for the multinational companies, you need to access those data, right? Last time the auditor used to go to the company, or used to go and say, if I have operation in for example New Zealand, how do I get the information? You will issue a request to your New Zealand company, and they will send the information via email and all. Now everything is going to be on the cloud. You can get the information, you can post the information, and you can share the information. Efficiency will also improve compliance, because all the parties like the tax authorities, even for example like regulators, central bank can look into that if there's any money laundering happening, or is there any interaction with the financial syndicate, where you can have an option of using the money for terrorism financing or doing any type of scam and so on. So that type of efficiency will also increase, can be easily detected using the fintech solution, using the KY solution, or using the robo auditing, for example. And then AI operation will remain same, which I mentioned to you earlier, in terms of the statistic accounting, as well as to look into the robo auditing. So again, if fintech is not only for banking and finance, fintech is equally impacting the accounting sector. I think I talked a lot about on the banking and finance, and some of the things which I've already talked about: chat boxes, branchless banking, artificial intelligence. One thing which I want to talk about is the open banking, right? Open banking is that, like, you are the user, you don't need to have everything with one bank. For example, at the moment, you will have your saving with Maybank, you will have your loans account with Maybank, you will have your investment with Maybank investment, everything you do with one bank, right? But not necessarily you get the best return or the best benefit for every product or services you take from one bank. And if you are a good customer, for example, you have good money, you have a good credit rating, why not use your own data to do operation for multi provider? And in that way, you will have an open banking channel where the data will be shared among the banks, and you can use you and as a user you have the flexibility to go to the best provider, and that's where the competition will come up, and the efficiency of the banks will increase. The cost will go down for the customer, and the open banking will again revolutionize. You as a user of the banking services, you are using your own data for your own benefit. At the moment, your data is being used by the providers for their own benefit, not as the customer. Again, those things are going to happen in that. So coming back to the last part of my discussion was to look into the job revolution. Yes, some of the jobs will be lost, like bookkeeping, manually bookkeeping. Bookkeeping will be automated, but you are going to have something called data analyst, and data analyst looking into across all the segments. So not necessarily that data analytics is for people who are doing actuarials or doing data science, they are only looking at that. They're also looking into fintech industry. So one thing which we also look into that, how the fintech industry is getting impacted. And that's why when we teach, I will show you some of the modules which we do that to make sure that even the data science is being covered into the fintech as well. So big data specialist, again, if you're doing fintech, you will learn about big data in finance, for example. Digital transformation, what technology is doing to that. So you can see the job titles or the job specialism is also changing. Why it is changing? Because of the technology trend. In fact, if you come back after 3-4 years, even some of those jobs in the top half of my presentation will also transform themselves. Why? Because things are changing so rapidly that the company also have to adapt and create jobs, and some of these jobs are huge in demand, especially for example, a fintech specialist, big data specialist, data analyst, AI and machine learning specialist. So you have tremendous opportunity if you're learning, especially for those who have an aspiration for the financial services industry. Again, I think this particular part I will skip, but again, you need to have the look into the recruitment trend and get those skills which are important for your future survival. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, it will be always the survival of the fittest. If you do not carry the right knowledge, right skills, you will be the first person to be thrown out of the job. You like it or not, but that is the reality. You always have to be up to the mark of what industry requires and what are the changing trends in the industry. And the key thing which we are looking at, and many companies, companies are no more looking at your CGPAs. Companies are looking at your digital skills. Companies are looking at your creativity. Companies are looking at your decision making. Companies are looking at your emotional and social intelligence. Why? Because you are interacting with people. You need to understand. You can be a provider at the same time. Think whenever you work in a company, think yourself as a customer, how you will react as a customer. So always, you keep the customer at heart of your solutions. And if you are able to connect with them, that's how you bring business to the company, whichever segment you are working at. So companies are also looking for the people who have these type of skills, and these are the skills which are more in demand compared to. So again, when you learn these technology focused module, you are going to have these type of implication. Decision making using AI, for example, creativity, how you solve a particular problem, and those will be handy if you're looking for a job. And companies are not testing you again with the CGPA. They'll be asking some question to determine whether you carry the digital skill, you have a decision making aptitude, and do you have enough creativity to drive the company forward. Again, if you are going to pursue those who are looking forward to learn in finance, this is a slide which I don't want to talk much, because sometimes if you want to talk about yourself, it looks like self praise. Again, you always want to learn from the best, right? Fortunately, gladly, I'm one of the top influencer in the fintech domain. If you can see that some of my credentials here, I'm the head of the school, and I look very carefully at the program, what's happening in the fintech program, in the banking program, in the accounting program, to make sure the programs are relevant to the industry. Many people will say we have this program, that program, but who is driving them? Who is they teaching them? Who is having an oversight on them? That becomes very important. I understand industry very well. I work with the best of the industries. I sit on their panel. I speak to them. I interact with the influencer on Twitter and social media. I speak on a big platform. I work with Cambridge Center, and if you see that most of the Cambridge reports, especially in the area of fintech, especially in the area of the RegTech, in terms of the financial inclusions, I'm one of only Malaysian to be part of that. You can see my name out. You can see my name out there. It has not been highlighted, but you can see in the research team, for example, I'm the number one in the RegTech. RegTech stands for Regulation of Technology. That's the heart of my research area, where I see at how technology can be regulated. Who will be at fault if technology do a mistake? That can be another area for me to talk about one day, because that's a very big area again to talk about. Again, I'm one of the top 100 influencer in the world, and talk about on the fintech on a global platform. I have been ranked 97 in the world, and that was the 2019 ranking. Even my program leader, Ms. Hui Chen, who is the program leader for banking and finance, also speaks in this area, and she has been spoken on the MDEC platform and all. So you can see that the head of school, program leader who is driving fintech and related areas are also expert in those areas who are driving that. So look out for that. Wherever you are going, do your homework. I'm not here, as an educator, we are here to help the student and the parents to choose the right institution. End of the day, it's your call. But make sure you just don't go with the fancy. People can have ranking, but people also need to have the right experts for the right program. And that's very important to look into that. If you look into the APU programs, we have two clusters: accounting and finance, and banking and finance. In banking, fintech is one of the specialism. We also have the investment and risk management, where in accounting side we have accounting, taxation, forex, audit. And the good thing about these programs is that fintech element has been embedded into all programs. I will show you a quick overview of the. Even we have a diploma in accounting, which also teach fintech, those who are only looking for diploma programs. So it's not we are only teaching fintech for undergraduate or master. We are also doing the fintech for the account diploma students. We also have the master's degree program in accounting, finance, and fintech. We are the only university in the country which have both fintech program in the undergraduate and the master's. And we were the first in the country to start the undergraduate fintech program way back in 2019. Many universities are following us, and they have fancy names and they claim that they are the first in this or that. But do your homework again. We are going to graduate our first cohort of the fintech students this year. That means they have already finished one cycle. So it all comes with experience. It all comes with the maturity in that. Again, as I mentioned to you earlier, fintech is not only for finance or banking. It is embedded across all programs and all specialism, and you will learn the best about it. And just to give you a quick overview, sometimes people put fintech, but they might be teaching only one module, right? And that doesn't make sense. For example, the people who are going to do fintech program, for example, you have so many modules on fintech. You learn the basic of fintech. You learn about how to do coding using Python. You will learn about data mining. Remember, I talk about the data analysis. We have data mining and predictive modeling. You learn about digital currencies, cryptos. You learn about the blockchain. You learn about the alternative finance, crowdfunding. We talk about the financing, right? Earlier, entrepreneurial finance, robo advisory. These are all the modules, by the way. These are not the topics which we are covering. These are standalone modules in the program, which gives you the length and breadth of everything that you want to know about the fintech world. And that is what our speciality at APU is. Not only that, we are proud to say that we are the only university in the country who have collaborated with Fintech Association of Malaysia, which is the umbrella of more than 200 companies in the country. And having that partnership really help us to revise our curriculum, make sure it is industry ready, whatever. So we have a annual review of our curriculum by Fintech Association. The president himself sits on our industry advisory panel member, and he gives a lot of input on that, not only from the Fintech Association. We also have advisory member coming from the ENY and the banks and the technology sector, which would make sure that the right things are embedded into the curriculum. We are also only one of the 10 universities in the country which have a CFA affiliation, and only the top 600 universities in the world which have CFA recognition. So those who are not looking into the pure fintech, they can also look into the investment and risk management to become a chartered financial analyst, and we have our program recognized by them. We are also recognized by AICB, Asian Institute of Chartered Bankers, those who want to be purely in the banking side, and we have collaborated with them. Pentype is a homegrown robo-advisory firm in Malaysia, and they are looking into developing robo-advisory solution, artificial solution for investment and so on. And they are our also partner, and they advise us heavily on our robo-advisory module. So you can see that it's not just having the module on the paper. It is developing the module. It is making sure the modules are relevant with the industry need. And that's why we work with the industry to make sure that the right advice and right content is there on our curriculum. This is just a snapshot of what we did. In fact, this was done just before the pandemic struck us. This was done in the first week of March last year. And we were proud to sign that. In the middle, you can see that on the left side, you can see that there's the Fintech Association president, along with me and the vice chancellor of the university. We do conduct a lot of talk. In fact, just to let you know, we conducted a talk on the cryptocurrency investment a few days back, and it was full house. We got students, parents, investors from all over the country who participated on how to invest into cryptocurrency. So we try to make sure, this is the guy in the picture here, is the is the founder of the Pentype, Mr. Yong Ning, and he himself will come and deliver a talk. At the moment, we this was the physical session we ran last year before the pandemic, but now we try to conduct most of the session online until we go back to the campus. So you can see that it was done in February 2020. Again, a full house for that particular purpose. We do talk on the fintech, and again, just to let you know, we will have another talk with Mr. Ridwan. He is now the board member. He had just stepped down as the president. He has now become the board member of that. This was the last year, but this year also we are going to have one on 19th of June, if not mistaken. So look for the APU website, social media, and you'll get more details on that. So again, we work with the industry very closely. We make sure that the students are imparted with the right information, right knowledge, and they have the right thing. You can see that the undergraduate degree, in Malaysia, even Uni Razak have started recently the BBA, but not a finance program. They have BBA in financial technology, but we are the first one. Now I can see the likes of Taylor's and UCSI also venturing in, because now they have seen that people read the right information, right knowledge. But again, watch out who is driving them, what type of curriculum they have, who are the industry partner to drive that program. In that way, we boast ourselves to say that we are doing extremely good, and you have the opportunity to do that. So that's all for me. My details are here. You can always follow me on my Twitter, which is Nafis Alam. You can read my articles, my sharings on LinkedIn. And if any of you have anything to ask for information, you can always reach out to me on my email. I think I was a little bit over bit time, but I will be still available for one or two pressing questions, Nina.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nafis. I'll just remove your slide so we can go ahead with the Q&A panel that we're nearing the end of the session. Doctor, if you look at the comment section, you have to scroll a bit lower. We'll get to the APU side of the questions.
Wow, there are a lot of questions. What do you think about the future of cryptocurrency in the finance world? Is that something people should pay attention to? Uh, this is the question which I get almost every day, because the people do ask for my advice. Not only the students, I get advice, asking for advice for my friends, family members, and all. Okay, crypto is a new innovation. You should always look into the cryptos or tokens. Even for example, in that say NFT, non-fungible tokens, something new which is coming up in the financial world. These are new assets. Some of the cryptos are highly hyped. I'm not here to promote any crypto, or not here to degrade any crypto. I don't invest in any crypto for that sake. I don't have that much money also. Bitcoin is a bit hyped in that sense, because again, and Bitcoin is not even regulated by many countries. So watch out, it's too volatile. But if you are looking for one advice, I will say Ethereum will be a better option. Why? Because Ethereum is not only used as a crypto, it's also used as a token in many payment gateway, and they do not show that much volatility. It does happen when Elon Musk tweets something about Ethereum as well, apart from the Dogecoin or Bitcoin. So watch out for those things. Those are always in personal interest into a particular asset. Definitely, crypto has a future. In fact, central bank, which I mentioned about in my presentation, CBDC, are using the similar concept of the blockchain to create the central bank digital currency. So yes, you should be, but always invest with a caution. Don't do that without caution. Okay, the next question.
Yes.
What do you think about the social media providing a platform for people to mobilize and manipulate the stock market? Okay, it's something what we were talking about earlier. Elon Musk, GameStop,
Yes.
Wall Street bet. It's interesting to see. But if you see, there is always something called very simple thing in finance. It's something called intrinsic value and something called market value. Intrinsic value is the true value of any financial asset. For example, if a particular stock, whether it is Apple, whether it is Petronas, or whether it is Alibaba, whatever stock you're talking about, even for example, Coinbase was recently listed onto the NYSE, right? Coinbase is exchange for cryptocurrency. Some of the stocks are hyped. They do not have the intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means true value. Whatever happens to the market, they will still come back to the original value. And whenever you are looking at buying and selling, compare the market value with the intrinsic value. If market value is more than the intrinsic value, always sell your holdings. If your market value is lower than the intrinsic value, you should buy the goods, and if it is equal, you can go for the holding that thing. So people have inherent interest. There are a lot of speculators, there are a lot of arbitrageurs in the world which will be manipulating this for their own interest. In fact, after this particular thing of the Elon Musk, I don't know whether you have read this or not, but the anonymous hacker group has come back and said that if Elon Musk doesn't stop tweeting about cryptos, they are going to cause damage to his company as well, because many people are dying. People have become millionaire, billionaire overnight, but there are people who also have lost everything in crypto world. So yes,
Yes.
they are manipulators. They are. You have to look into the essentials. You have to look into the values, and that one sometimes it is not only based on the social media.
Right.
Follow the right people. Do not follow the speculators and people who have their own interest.
Yes, correct. All right, you can move on to the
Um,
next question.
Next question is from Priyanka, I believe, and this is touching heart of my research. She's asking, is
Yes.
there anything in the fintech world you're more excited about? Yes, regulation. I always talk
Mm.
about regulation. Why? Because at the moment, fintech world is not properly regulated because the pace of innovation is much faster than the pace of regulation. Why? Because central bank or the security commission cannot come up with the regulation overnight. So the financial industry is moving very fast compared to the regulation world. And that's why we always say that if the particular exchange or particular financial asset is not regulated, do not invest. Because if you lose your money, the government or the regulators will not be able to protect you. You should always invest through the exchange which are regulated by the security commission or being approved by the bank Nega. I don't know how many of you go back and look at the list of the what you call the unauthorized exchange on the Bank Negara website. They always publish that list. These are involved in money laundering. We have cancelled their
Mm.
money services businesses,
Wow.
or we have cancelled their. So that you have to follow that. Now, why I'm excited about this? Because I talk a lot about AI ethics and AI biasness, because AI is supposed to solve a lot of world problem, right? But
Mm.
we are the human which are creating the AI things. For
Yes.
example, recently there was a concern that in the recruitment in the HR industry, AI based system was not interviewing any people with dark color. Who
Mm.
who keyed in those information? This is again human biasness which are appearing into the AI biasness. So who prosecute them? For example, if you're driving a Tesla automated car and you involved in an accident and you kill somebody, is it you going to be prosecuted, or is it going to be Tesla who is going to be prosecuted, right? So that
Right.
is the area which I'm very much concerned about, and I do a lot of research on that, on the AI regulation, on the technology regulation, and that's why
Mm.
I've been ranked number one in the RegTech industry.
Yes.
So I do a lot of writing and discussion on that particular aspect. Yes.
All right. I think that answers the
There's one
question.
last question.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last question, I believe. In your opinion, what is the tech-oriented career in the financial people should prioritize? Something to ensure the relevancy. Okay, there are two aspects of fintech. One is the front end and one is the back end. The front end is the user of the technology to make decision making, to make a strategic decision, or to look into risk management. And there are people at the back end who develop solutions. In APU, we have both fintech program in the School of IT and School of Accounting and Finance. In the IT side, you'll be developing the code, you will be developing a solution, you will be developing a system which will help to do the activities for the bank and financial services. So there are two type of people who work in the fintech industry. Are you developing a solution, or you are utilizing the solution to make decision making or use it for your day-to-day activity into a bank or financial services? So either way it is going to help you, because you cannot work in silo in the financial world anymore. You need to have an understanding, and that's why I keep on emphasizing that even if you are not learning about developing a code, if you don't know about Python, for example, how Python works and how do you get an output, you will be lost, right? You might be interpreting a
Mm.
solution wrongly. That's why we also teach Python in the School of Accounting and Finance, to make sure you understand Python, but you don't go
Mm.
and develop a software for banks. You are using the software to make your life easier. So definitely you should look into a knowledge awareness, whether you are working front end and back end. And in the back end, the technology keep on evolving. You will have new languages, you have new
Mm.
databases to work on, and you always have to be forefront of it to make sure that you are using the right and the latest trend into technology world.
Yes.
I got tired, Nina.
So sorry, Doctor. Apologies. I do have one question on my end, if that's okay, Professor. All right. So I understand that if any fintech has served as a solution to banking and any finance system, but what are some of the challenges that fintech startup or even traditional financial institutions go through when they decide to go mobile or they start to integrate technology into their system?
One thing is that they need to have a niche solution. I did mention that every year we see 500 plus fintech, that's
Mm.
across Malaysia and globally. So people want to innovate, but people also are replicating the solution. So one thing is that you need to first do a market survey whether there is existing software or existing solution for similar thing what you're doing. It's all come down to getting the right investor, because you might have a good idea, but if you're not able to sell, in
Right.
in in fintech world, you get 10 minutes to pitch your idea, and you make an impression in the first 1 minute of your pitching.
Right.
Every month there will be a lot of fintech festival within Malaysia, Singapore, globally. And right now, being a globalized world, as a fintech startup company, you can go and pitch your idea anywhere in the world, 24/7. You just have to participate. And many of these fintech festival do not charge a huge cost, because many of these startups are in the early phase, do not have money.
Right.
But the good thing is that they want to promote the idea. So one thing you should always know, that you will have the right solution. You want to solve a problem, and it is for doing good. It is not for it will be giving you benefit and profit in the long run. But initially you are trying to solve a problem with a traditional financial institution cannot solve. And
Mm.
always look for a good combination of a team. In a fintech startup, you need to have a finance guy, you need to have an IT guy, and you need to have a marketing guy. You need these
Right.
three people to go together to do that. And in Nina, if you are ever starting a fintech company, do count on me. I can work with you to do that.
Okay. All right. Noted. Thank you so much, Doctor. All right. So I think that's it. We're then nearing the end of our session. Just to wrap things up quickly, Dr. Nafis, do you have any parting words of advice for students who are interested in pursuing a career in the fintech field? Just, our SPM leavers.
Sorry, I didn't get your question correctly,
Oh,
Nina. I didn't.
sorry. Do you have any parting words of advice for students or SPM leavers who are interested in pursuing a career in the fintech field?
I think it's not about the fintech field, but in the finance and accounting field,
Hmm.
yes,
Right.
you should go for the knowledge and skill which is in demand. You should not
Right.
follow like what people have done in the past. You should always choose your university. And again, I have worked with big brands as well. For people who don't know me, I have worked with Monash, I have worked with Nottingham, I have worked with Henley, Reading University.
Hmm.
So end of the day, it all comes down to the right curriculum and to the right people who are teaching you. Don't
Right.
go with the ranking only, because sometimes what happens that ranking will not lead you. Ranking is done based on the, again, I will not go into that, but you should make sure that what you're going to learn, does it cover what you want to learn. So make
Hmm.
sure you spend a lot of time looking at the curriculum of the university, because you cannot go back and revisit. You are going to invest 3 years of your life, and those who are going for your foundation program, make sure you have a right decision. Don't listen to your friends, don't listen to your parents, because it will be your career. You need to decide on that. I'm not saying that you completely adamant. Parents come with experience and all as well, but at the same time also look where the industry is headed to. So if you are good in numbers, go for finance, accounting. If you are more into selling good thing, go for marketing, no harm. If you are good in strategic decision making, go for management and all. But don't choose the wrong course of study, and don't choose the wrong institution, because that's very important. That 3 years is going to make or break your whole life, and that's very
Right.
important for you to choose. I wish all
Wow.
of them all the best for that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nafis, for your insights and perspective. I hope that the audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Thank you again, and hope you have a good day, Dr. Nafis. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Nina. Have a good day ahead, and
Bye.
thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. All right. Thank you to our audience for joining our webinar session with Dr. Nafis of Asia Pacific University. Up next, we'll have Ms. Alwani and Mr. Nizam from Carsome Academy, who will share with you everything there is to know about TVET education and training, from employment to job demand. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned. If you're at the fair, do visit Asia Pacific University's virtual booth and check out all the offering programs that's available. In the meantime, let's check out what APU has prepared for you. Oh, sorry. All right. All right. All right. Good evening, and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will be weighing in on a number of topics, ranging from choosing an education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina. I'm your host for today, and we have our speakers already in the stream. I'll just pull them in real quick. Hi, Miss Awani. Hi, Nizam.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi, how are you? How are
I'm fine, I'm
you?
good.
All right,
Yeah,
that's great.
Siap.
Okay, bagus, bagus. All right, so I'll do a quick introduction. Today we have Miss Salmani, Principal of Carsome Academy, and Mr. Nizam, Lecturer at Carsome Academy, who'll be sharing with us a little introduction to Carsome Academy and everything you need to know about TVET education and training. Before we get started, just a quick background on our speakers today. Ms. Salwani is a graduate engineer registered under the Board of Engineers Malaysia, holding a degree in mechatronic engineering and a master in engineering management. She also has 12 years of experience in technical and vocational education and training under her belt. Previously a lecturer, Ms. Samani received her teaching qualification in vocational education training from NMIT Melbourne and CS Malaysia. Now, Ms. Samani is the principal of Carsome Academy. Moving forward with Encik Nizam, our next speaker. With 19 years of experience in TVET education under his belt, Mr. Nizam's expertise lies in automotive and education. He received his teaching qualifications in vocational training diploma in automotive and vocational teaching executive at CS Malaysia. Started his career as penolong pegawai latihan vocational. Now Mr. Nizam is a lecturer at Carsome Academy. All right. Okay, so now that we've got that, so are you both prepared to present your slides for the day?
Yes,
All
Nina. So
right.
I will show
Okay.
the slide.
Yes,
Okay.
you can prepare first and put on full screen. Now, to our audience, before
Yes.
we begin, if you have any questions for Ms. Awani Cik Nizam, do leave a comment and we'll get them answered at the end of the session. Also, don't forget to check out Carsome Academy's virtual booth while you're at the fair. All right, if you're ready, Ms. Awani, I'll just share your screen now.
Yes.
All
Thank
right,
you,
it's
Nina.
in the. All right,
Yeah.
you can present now.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, Malaysia. First at all, let us pray to Malaysia, yeah. Recovery from COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So, yeah, we hope that we can have our previous life. Okay, we can have a gathering with our friends, with our family. Okay, we can balik kampung also. So yeah, almost, I mean, 1 year and a half already. Yeah, kita maybe we don't have an opportunity to see that our parents. Okay, so this is I mean, a little bit bad for us, but should be okay. Just pray for that the recovery of Malaysia. Okay. And then, yeah, hope to lah. Okay, in the next year we can celebrate all the festival as usual. Okay, so yeah, I hope that Malaysia will be fine in the soon. Okay, so yeah, thank you to Miss Nina. Okay, so before actually I proceed for that, the next, I just want to say a congratulations to all the, SPM candidates for 2022. Okay, so yeah, for all the efforts. Okay, actually this is not easy because as we know, okay, on 2022, we a little bit, yeah, for the first MCO announced by government, so the all of us is stay at home. Okay, the school also they cannot operate as usual, so all the students studying, okay, through the PDPR. Okay, so all is a challenge for you all, but yeah, yeah, it's a well done actually. Congratulations for all the flying colors for 2022 SPM candidates. Okay, so let me introduce. Okay, so as per said by Miss Nina, okay, I'm Puan Salwani, Carsome Academy Principal. Okay, come also as a pengurus pusat Betauliah. Okay, so yeah, first at all, okay, before I proceed with a Carsome Academy, a program briefing. So yeah, I bring all of you, okay, together with me to understand, okay, about that the pathway after you finish your SPM. So what in the future, okay, so what that you supposed to do, okay, for the study, which framework that you need to choose, even you want to go for the academy or even you want to choose the TVET education. Okay, I believe all of you, okay, all of us here also, we are already familiar with a TVET educations. Okay, so yeah, I'm explain to you lah, okay, about that the framework, what are the different, okay, with academy and also TVET. Okay, so yeah, TVET education, techniques and vocational education training. Okay, so actually since 1990 lah, okay, in the Malaysia, okay, we starting with MLVK Malaysian level of vocational training, okay, MLVK, apa kita panggil latihan vocational, okay, at the same time also what we call the training vocational at the same time a TVET. Okay, so if you can see here the difference between academy and TVET. Okay, so if you can see the certificate level, we start with MQA level 1. So Malaysian Qualification Framework just introduced by MQA, okay, as known as LAN, Lembaga Akreditasi Negara. So this is the latest review for the second edition. Okay, so if you can see the difference between academy and also TVET. Okay, so we starting with a level 1, the general certification. Okay, so for the academy pathway also, we start with level 1 certification, and a TVET also we start with a level 1 certification. Okay, so if you can see level 1 till level 6, okay, until bachelor degree. So in the Malaysia TVET education, actually we already what we call improve, okay. It's not only we offering anti-diploma kemahiran Malaysia, but also we will have a bachelor degree. Okay, we have a bachelor degree. So in the latest, okay, Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran Malaysia, okay, who's giving accreditation for all the pusat latihan, okay, pusat latihan kemahiran in Malaysia, okay, which is that also we are, I mean, working, okay, to have a career pathway for all the students who are successful complete for Diploma Kemahiran Malaysia. Okay, so after you finish your Diploma Kemahiran Malaysia for the academy one, after diploma you can proceed your degree, is it? But the TVET also you have another pathway, you can proceed that your degree also. Okay, so this is we work until through that the system we call as a COPTA. Okay, so if you can see here the pathway, the opportunity to further a study. Okay, so I mean it's not that only academic pathway, just only preparing until your PhD level, but TVET also incoming. Okay, we will also preparing you to that the PhD level. Okay, meaning that if you can see here after bachelor degree, okay, in the TVET, so you can switch, okay, switch direct to the academic punya, I mean pathway lah. Okay, so if you can see here, the opportunity is now is equivalent between academic and also TVET. So, okay, in the previously, of course lah, okay, little bit kita akan rasa macam what we call a TVET is only offering the Diploma Kemahiran Malaysia. Okay, but how that, okay, if I have interested to further my study, okay, into another level to proceed my study into another level of professional lah, okay, which is master or PhD. So you don't worry, okay, if you choose to enter the skill education, the TVET education, also you have a same opportunity, then you can proceed that your the next, I mean education punya level lah. Okay, so I think this is that the very clear, okay, for you all, okay, or maybe this is at the new also, okay, maybe all of you there's a notice like okay, SKM, DKM, then okay, we work. Okay, yeah, of course, because SKM, DKM, actually we are testing on the competency, okay, and then the academy one, we are delivering on that the we call as OBE, outcome based education. So even we are have a different platform, okay, between academy and also TVET, but the end we will goes for the same direction. Okay, okay, so the next, okay, so yeah, welcome to Carsome Academy. Okay, so this is at the Carsome Academy. We just started on November 2020. Okay, before I proceed with Carsome Academy, I need to explain about lah. Okay, me and also Cik Nizam, okay, we are under one roof, which is Carsome Academy, is known as also Carsome Sdn Bhd. I mean, Carsome Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Okay, so Carsome, we are starting in the Malaysia, and also we expand our business into the Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore. Okay, so that there's in the Malaysia, we just start with a Carsome Academy lah. So the first of objective, okay, to set up that the one of academy, okay, actually that our target, okay, to produce industrial ready technical workforce, okay, through a professional, qualified, and also certified pathway. Okay, so this is the main of the objective of Carsome Academy lah. Okay, so for your information, we are actually SLDN Training Center. Okay, we are accredited by Ministry of Human Resources under Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran Malaysia. Okay. Okay, so yeah, yeah, this is like the what we are offering in the Carsome Academy. So for your information, now, okay, we are offering this what we call the Carsome program, the Carsome program, because yeah, as I mentioned, as our objective to produce a workforce, actually a skill, a a skilled workforce. Okay, so this is that the program offering by Carsome Academy, which is vehicle inspection level 3 accredited by Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran Malaysia lah. So in further, Cik Niza, we help us, okay, to what we call to little bit brief lah on the deep, okay, about our curriculums, and also how that the program punya implementations lah. Okay. Okay, what that the special in the Carsome Academy, and then what that apa kita panggil a special or beneficial yang Carsome Academy offer for that our programs lah. Okay, so at the first, yeah, this is that the very dynamic punya program, which is we are not only train you in the campus. Okay, but okay, our program implementations is 3 months in academy, which is we will delivery on the theory part. Okay, so for time being, for the 3 months in the academy, we will jalan as a virtual class. Okay, so virtual class, so a lecturer will teach you about that the theory part of a level 3 lah. Okay, after completing 3 months in the academy, okay, we will send you, or we will place you in the industrial placement for the 9 months in the Carsome Berhad. Okay, so yeah, so after completing the theory part is about 3 months, so you are ready for the industrial placement. So we will send you into our outlet. Okay, so it's not that only we give you that the campus a campus life, but we also engage the students with kita panggil with our expertise, okay, which is kita akan hantar you pergi practical dekat tempat kita, dan dalam masa yang sama that our trainer or coach, we call as a coach, akan train you for the 9 months. Okay, so this is the concept, okay, we call as a technical oriented punya trainings. Okay, so which is very good stuff. So for 9 months you will go for the hands-on punya training. Okay, di mana that you akan dapat apa yang maksudnya you akan dapat 100%, okay, apa yang di tempat kerja, maksudnya workplace buat, dan you akan ditrain mengikut apa yang akan you kerjakan nanti. Okay. Okay, so after 3 months and 9 months of a training, so Carsome Berhad will offer you, okay, to work with us as a car ataupun vehicle inspector. Okay, so after you complete 3 months of theory and 9 months of practical, so you lulus the examination, okay, pass, so with a pass grade, okay, and with a competency status, so you will become as our qualified inspector. So kita akan offer you kerja, so you will join us, okay, as a qualified inspector. So as conclusion for this program, okay, we call also as apprentice program, di mana we train you, and after training we will place you into our industry. Okay, so this is the 100% job guarantee with Carsome Berhad lah. Okay, so as I mentioned you in the previous, okay, maybe you have an opportunity to work with us in Malaysia, okay, in Indonesia, Carsome Indonesia, and also Carsome Thailand or Carsome Singapore, okay, because this is a South Asia lah, so kita ada dekat South Asia. So this is that offer yang kita akan bagi kepada you all of a school level and then after SPM lah, okay. Okay, this is another benefits yang Carsome Academy prepare to you all. Okay, we provide to all our students. Okay, which is this program level 3 inspection vehicle, a cost about 8,000. Okay, so you don't worry. Carsome Academy we provide you study loan. Okay, so monthly installment is only RM380. Okay, so this is also the benefit lah Carsome Berhad effort to give to the students lah. Okay, so yeah, through a custom capital, will funding will give you study loan, okay, with terms and condition. Then you will just only paid for 380 ringgit per month. Okay, so I think this is a very clear cut lah on that our side. So okay, career growth at Carsome. Okay, so as I mentioned with you, after you entering our program, you will sit for the, 3 months theory and 9 months practical. After completing everything, after completing the PPL examinations, okay, so we will go for the placement assessment at Carsome. So kita akan, hantar you lah, okay, kita akan hantar you untuk bekerja, which is dekat mana selected outlet kita lah, okay, and we will appoint you as an inspector. So how about the career growth? So starting with inspector, we are prepare you the pathway, the long pathway, the long journey with us, okay, which is you will be promoted as inspector lead, okay, after that we will promote as assistant manager, and then you will promote as a manager, and yeah, the one of that the big, the very high a position, okay, in that the inspector ranking is a regional head actually, okay, is a regional head. So you will be as a lead of an inspector entire Malaysia lah, okay. So this is the pathway, okay. So after a few years, okay, we are really looking for your self and also career growing lah, okay. So you will grow together with Carsome, okay. Okay, so yeah, this is I will bring you to the facilities tour. Okay, academy. So yeah, this is Carsome Academy. So okay, we have some of area of discussion. This is the campus, kita punya campus. So this is academic classroom. Okay, so this is our inspection office, practical training retail center. So as I mentioned in previously, okay, we will place you in this our outlet lah, okay. So in the Klang Valley, we have around 12 outlets, okay. So this here 8, then another coming 4, we just opening, in the KL area, okay. So setakat ni for the placement, for the practical placement, okay, we will plan you to place, okay, we will choose the just nearby your home address lah, okay, which is if you from Seri Kembangan, then we can send you to the Seri Kembangan lah, okay. Okay, so this is in the Klang Valley, and then we have a northern and southern area, okay, which is we have Alor, Penang, Ipoh, Seremban, JB, Melaka, Skudai, and also Batu Pahat, okay. So this is opening to all, this is offer is opening to all, okay, for entire Malaysia, okay, because you don't really, Carsome actually, we have a lot of outlets, okay, this is not only in KL, but we also, having our outlet in di seluruh Malaysia lah, okay, di seluruh Malaysia. So yeah, we have also in Kota Baru and also Carsome Kuantan, okay. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. This is the introduction lah, okay, untuk Carsome Academy. Then why that TVET education, yeah, we the one of the TVET education training provider. So as I mentioned, don't worry, okay, if you choose to have apa kita panggil a studying to proceed your study in the education, in skill education, you don't worry, you still have a pathway, okay, to proceed your study, to proceed your career in a professional. So yeah, this is the kind things lah, okay. Okay, so yeah, please, okay, you find us in the Google, okay, in the news, okay, a lot of, sharing, okay, in the media, okay, you can also go to our IG, Carsome Academy, okay, and to our Facebook, Carsome Academy. So yeah, just you can find us everywhere, okay, the news is spread everywhere. So you can also find about us lah, okay, in the social media, okay. Okay, so thank you very much, Nina. So yeah, I think Encik Nizam, we proceed, okay, to brief, on the deep lah about that inspector vehicle punya program, okay.
All right. Encik Nizam, would you want to share your slide? Okay. Everything okay, Cik Nizam? Cik Nizam, you're on mute.
Okay, sebentar sekejap. Saya share screen dulu.
Okay.
Okay, semua nampak?
Kejap saya naikkan. Okay, yes, yep. It's on full screen now. Okay lah, Cik Nizam, you can take over.
Okay, selamat petang semua. Okay, apa khabar? Okay, dalam keadaan COVID macam ni biasalah. Okay, saya akan terangkan sedikit berkaitan dengan program yang ditawarkan di Carsome Kelana Jaya. So far untuk program yang kita buat di Kelana Jaya, okay, kalau ikut program ni, okay, kalau ikut pada program ni di bawah, okay, di bawah Kementerian Sumber Manusia, okay, bawah Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. So program yang kita tawarkan adalah SEGi Kemahiran Malaysia melalui kaedah sistem latihan dual nasional, iaitu sistem latihan dual nasional ni adalah sistem latihan train and place lah, lebih kurang macam tu lah, train and place. Okay, so kita mendapat pentauliahan untuk sijil kemahiran Malaysia tahap 3, okay, bagi bidang motor vehicle inspection. Okay, motor vehicle inspection telah ditauliahkan pada kita pada Januari tahun ni lah, okay, untuk semua center kita lah. Okay, apa yang kita cuba sediakan di sini adalah segala kemudahan kepada pelatih ataupun kepada calon kami supaya mereka lebih, maksudnya berdaya saing lah. Sebab apa? Bidang kami adalah bidang yang baru di dalam industri otomotif. Okay, kalau kita tengok di sini inspection ni mungkin tidak familiar lah dibandingkan dengan otomotif, bidang otomotif yang lain lah. Contoh macam mekanik, petrol, mekanik diesel kan, auto design apa semua kan. Tapi untuk inspection kategori bidang baru. Okay, dan kita adalah first center yang mendapat pentauliahan di bawah Kementerian Sumber Manusia ataupun di bawah Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. So untuk program kita ni, okay, untuk program kita ni kita adalah, Carsome adalah first center yang menjalankan program ni lah. Okay, so dalam bidang otomotif ni kita sebenarnya banyak bidang, tetapi inspection ni adalah salah satu bidang yang organisasi lain tidak ceburi lagi lah. Okay, so Carsome berlandaskan apa yang kita dah buat di industri kita. So kita cuba untuk menawarkan sijil kemahiran yang diterap oleh kementerian, okay, oleh kementerian tally dengan apa yang kami ada lah, maksudnya berpandukan apa industri yang kami buat. Okay, kalau kita tengok di sini program kita ni, kita juga sediakan loan dan kita juga sediakan tempat pekerjaan kepada pelatih. So pelatih tak perlu risau lah. Okay, secara asas dia selepas latihan selama 12 bulan iaitu setahun, okay, mereka lulus dengan jayanya, mereka akan maksudnya mereka akan sign kontrak dengan kita sekurang-kurangnya 2 tahun. Okay, so dalam 2 tahun tu mereka tak perlu fikir nak cari kerja lain ke apa kan. So dan mereka dah terikat dengan kami. So dari segi benda tu satu advantage kepada pelatih untuk maksudnya mendalami ilmu ni lebih mendalam lah. So setahun diorang belajar, 2 tahun diorang akan bekerja dengan kami lah. Okay, kalau ikut pada pembelajaran kita untuk tajuk ini, okay, yang pertama kita akan, maksudnya program ni akan mengajar beberapa subjek berkaitan dengan pemeriksaan kenderaan. Okay, kalau pemeriksaan kenderaan ni, kalau kita tengok di luar, yang selalu buat adalah Puspakom dan JPJ. Okay, so silibus yang kita bawa ni adalah sama macam mana Puspakom buat ataupun sama silibus macam mana Puspakom laksanakan. So dari segi benda tu, selain you bekerja di Carsome, you ada juga peluang-peluang kerja yang lain lah. Okay, kalau kita tengok di sini, kalau modul 1 tu kita menerangkan berkaitan dengan identification inspection, lepas tu kita akan check advocacy, lepas tu measurement and weighing, lepas tu semua emission testing. Okay, ni untuk alam sekitar. Kemudian kita akan test headlamp, okay, untuk safety, lepas tu side slip untuk komponen ataupun untuk bahagian-bahagian membabitkan bush, suspension, steering dan semua. Kemudian kita akan test brake inspection untuk pastikan keselamatan pada kenderaan, suspension untuk keselesaan penumpang, speedometer. Speedometer ni untuk penggunaan kenderaan tersebut lah, berapa jarak kenderaan tu dah pernah berjalan lah. Okay, dan undercarriage ni membabitkan banyak part lah. Okay, banyak part seperti engine, exhaust, okay, fuel system, okay, chassis, okay, body kenderaan lah. Okay, so dalam pembelajaran ni pelatih secara asasnya selama 3 bulan akan diterangkan secara teori, 3 bulan diterangkan secara teori, dan 9 bulan dia akan praktis apa yang telah dipelajari semasa teori. So maksudnya kaedah pembelajaran kita dah separate 3 bulan adalah secara visual kita jalankan secara visual. So kita akan, maksudnya saya akan terangkan dalam bentuk presentation, dalam bentuk assignment, dalam bentuk exercise. Okay, tetapi kita tak sentuh lagi kenderaan because kita nak pelatih betul-betul confident dan ada knowledge lah berkaitan dengan basic apa yang dia nak buat kan. So kita prepare dahulu benda tersebut, dan after that selepas 3 bulan barulah kita akan bawa mereka ke industri sebenar, iaitu di custom retail lah. Okay, macam mana Puan Sawani terangkan tadi tu. So pelatih akan ditempatkan 9 bulan secara hands on dalam keadaan situasi sebenar. Maksudnya dengan kereta pelanggan, dia akan belajar macam mana inspect kereta pelanggan, kereta sebenar, bukan kereta yang ada di institut latihan. So mereka akan buat pada real situation. So kaedah ni kita cuba implement supaya pelatih dapat real situasi sebelum pergi alam pekerjaan. Dan bila mana dia pergi alam pekerjaan sebenar, dia tidak kekok lah dan tidak rasa janggal lah bila mana dia kena jumpa serve customer, dan after that kena explain customer kalau kata ada apa-apa argument daripada customer, because semua benda yang dia expect ni dia perlu explain dan perlu recordkan. So bila dia explain dan record, kadang-kadang customer ada yang maksudnya dia kena communicate lah dengan customer dengan baik lah. Okay, so di situ kita cuba terapkan lah situasi sebenar supaya pelatih selepas setahun dengan kita, dia tidak berasa was-was atau takut-takut lagi lah. Okay, so bila dia pergi pada real situation tu, dia akan lebih confident. Sebab apa? 9 bulan yang dia dah praktis sebelum ni adalah perkara sebenar yang dia akan lalui pada alam pekerjaan. Itu yang Carsome cuba sediakan lah, supaya pelatih kita lebih bersedia dan berdaya saing lah. Okay, macam mana saya terangkan tadi, teori tu 3 bulan kita terangkan dalam bentuk audio visual. Okay, kita buat classroom dalam Google Meet. Okay, semua pelatih akan diterangkan dengan kaedah PowerPoint slide apa semua, dan kita penerangan information sheet. So kita prepare information sheet, worksheet apa semua kita akan prepare. So pelatih akan mendengar penerangan daripada saya, dan bila mana selepas 30% tu dah cover, baru kita kurs tadi telah mendapat pengiktirafan daripada kementerian untuk melayakkan mereka melatih pelatih kami di industri sebenar. So maksudnya di sini di bahagian teori pengajarnya diiktiraf oleh kementerian, di bahagian praktikal coachnya diiktiraf oleh kementerian. So dari segi qualified pengajar tak perlu risaulah. Okay, so kita memang link terus dengan kementerian untuk mendapat pengesahan supaya value pembelajaran kita tu memenuhi kriteria yang telah ditetapkan oleh kementerian. Okay, so ini salah satulah kita punya identiti lah. Kalau kata you all datang di Carsome besok bila mana you ada bekerja, inilah. Okay, kalau tengok pada pemakaian saya warna hitam ini untuk training, dan di Carsome situasi dia lebih kurang macam ni. Kita akan inspect menggunakan beberapa material ataupun beberapa bahan yang kita maksudnya Carsome sediakan untuk memenuhi kehendak pelanggan lah. Maksudnya setiap inspection yang dibuat perlulah bersesuaian. So kalau selain daripada tu peluang-peluang pekerjaan lain dalam bidang kita ni, dalam bidang inspection ni, kalau kita tengok di sini, selain daripada car inspection, kita boleh jadi panel insurance punya, maksudnya insurance panel. Sebagai pakar panel insurance, kalau siapa yang berkelayakan, dia ada exam tertentu lah untuk dia duduki. Kemudian dia boleh jadi government server, okey, kajian kerajaan dalam bidang technician lah. Maksudnya tahap 3 ni qualified untuk dia menjadi juruteknik. Okey, juruteknik di mana-mana jabatan kerajaan yang berkaitan dengan bidang-bidang tertentu lah. Okey, selain pada tu instructor, okey, bila mana mereka dah qualified level 3, tapi kena plus pengalaman. Level 3 tu kadang-kadang pelatih fresh graduate dia nak terus pergi jadi instructor, saya tak recommend lah, tapi plus pengalaman atau experience. So dia akan ambil lesen mengajar di pusat latihan pengajar, then after that dia boleh further study untuk degree, dan dia boleh jadi pengajar lah. Okay, so peluang dia untuk bahagian education pun ada. Okay, so untuk lain pada tu dia nak further study di mana-mana university technical. Okay, university technical. Setakat ni kita ada 9 universiti teknikal. Peluang pendidikan untuk pelatih-pelatih SKM sekarang terbuka luas. Selain daripada SEGi kemahiran, bila mana you graduate dalam SEGi kemahiran, you boleh transfer kredit ke peringkat diploma ataupun degree. Okay, di mana-mana universiti teknikal di Malaysia. So, contohnya adalah UTM, Universiti Tun Hussein On, okay, Universiti Malaysia Pahang, dan UTM. Kita ada 9 semua total. Universiti Malaysia Pahang ada, UTM ada, DRB Highcom ada. Okey, ni UTM ni di Johor. So banyak lagi universiti utara pun ada boleh, UMK pun boleh. Okey, so dari segi benda tu saya rasa peluang untuk pelatih-pelatih yang graduate dengan kita untuk further study tak ada masalah lah. Okey, so far saya rasa itu saja untuk penangan saya hari ini. Okay, kalau kata ada apa-apa masalah ataupun ada pertanyaan boleh refer pada Carsome Academy. Okay, Carsome Academy, website kita ada, Facebook kita pun ada, Insta pun kita ada. So di sana kita boleh berbincang. Kalau nak keterangan lanjut boleh hubungi sendiri Carsome. Okay, boleh hubungi sendiri Carsome. Okay, saya rasa itu saja untuk penangan saya kali ini. Terima kasih.
Alright. Oh, kejap man. Okay. Alright, thank you so much Nizam. That was very informative. Now that we're nearing the end of our session, we can go ahead and answer the Q&A. Kalau Encik Nizam tengok dekat bahagian komen tu, kena scroll down sikit lah sebab banyak sangat komen kan.
Yes, Nina, I dah go through all the questions. So yeah, let us give that the answer lah. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Which one would
so
you like?
I will go through one by one. Okay. At first for the Saratan. Okay. So yeah, she's just inquiring about that apa kita panggil how that we're doing the class online because we are we are offering skill program kan. Okay. So for your information Sarah, that's our program which is 30 secara teorikal and 70% is for practical lah. So as I mentioned in the previous, for 3 months, okay, memang kita akan deliver all that theory class lah, okay, which is that the theory part, okay, we jalan secara virtual. Okay, so this is that the methods yang kita guna lah untuk yang 3 months punya training lah. Okay, so for the practical kita akan spend, okay, in our outlet, okay, for the 3 months. So for the another rest for the 9 months lah. Okay, so dekat situ that you can see lah 70-30. So that the 70 part memang kita akan buat dekat kita punya outlets lah. Okay, which is the student we do the hands apa kita panggil hands on punya practical. Okay, so I think that I'm answering the Sarah question. Okay, so yeah, the question from Javik. Okay, is it TVET on par with a degree? Are the 2 certification on the same level? Okay, as I mentioned in the earlier on my slide, okay, yang I explainkan tadi, yeah, for your information, TVET and MQA, we already, that the ministry already come up with a system we call as a COPTA. Okay, so COPTA that the what we call a mechanism, okay, to make between both of framework, okay, to make equivalent. So you don't worry, after you complete diploma kemahiran Malaysia, you also can proceed for that the degree program lah or bachelor punya program. Okay. So I think this question from Javid is same goes to Arina. Can I do a degree after doing the TVET? Yes. Okay, you can proceed your degree. Okay. Zulfazrina, I'm not very good at maths or science. I heard that TVET does not really have a high requirements for that. Exactly is the curriculum actually for your information is based on that the program that you choose lah, okay, which is you nak pilih program more to the technical program like engineering program, okay, like a mechatronics, automotive, okay, skill in automotive, mechatronics, electrical, electronic. Yes, at least that you need to have a basics in the maths and science lah, okay. But kalau macam a skill yang more to office business management, okay, culinary, that the things mungkin lah little bit can consider, okay, if you are not so good in the maths and also science. So this is depend kepada program skill apa yang you mohon nanti, okay. So I think that I give answer to the Fazrina, okay. Okay, Melinda Priyanka John, is it true that the easier to get job with a TVET certificate than a degree? And what about the pay? Okay, I think Cik Nizam is a good person, can answer about this, because Cik Nizam background, he's from industry also, then joined that the education lah to be as expertise in that the TVET punya field lah. So I think the best person lah to explain about this. Yeah.
Okay, Melina. Okay, Melina Priyanka John. Okay, normally right lah, sebab certificate, skill certificate ni memang easily to have a job lah, because normally for example you join the Carsome, we promote you join the Carsome Academy, you start with me for minimum salary is 2,000. So kita guarantee dengan you minimum salary is 2,000. So maybe another qualification, for example diploma or degree academic, because they don't have the experience for working. They have the experience for the job. They must start this knowledge first. So maybe the salaries maybe very maybe low from maksudnya lebih rendah lah daripada level yang qualified yang dia ada lah. Okay, qualified yang dia ada. So untuk pilihan dalam industri pada kebiasaan kita, okay, technical memang akan dapat lebih lah. So kalau daripada experience saya, kalau kita tengok bidang welding, okay, welding boleh jejak sehingga 8 ke 9K. So tengok pada bidang, okay. Bukan semua bidang lah, okay. Kalau contoh culinary chef pun agak expensive. Then after that inspection, bidang kita inspection memang sebab apa yang Carsome sediakan tu bersama dengan minimum salary yang kita bagi adalah 2K. So kalau kata after graduate you dah dapat dengan minimum salary 2K, saya rasa agak expensive lah. So you graduate about 21 kalau kata starting 21 dengan baru experience dalam 10%, 20%. So you dah start dengan 2K, bagi saya agak expensive lah. Okay, tapi ada certain bidang yang agak kurang mendapat sambutan atau pendapatan yang kurang. Contoh macam pengurusan pejabat, IT pun more expensive. You akan boleh dapat. Okay, so dari segi benda tu saya rasa untuk yang saya tak nak kata ijazah tak ada value, tidak. Tetapi dari segi experience, technical mungkin lebih lagi lah. Sebab apa? Mereka dah lalui perkara sebenar di industri, dan after that bila dia pergi kerja lebih mudah, dan company mungkin mudah menawarkan gaji yang agak lumayan lah dibanding kalau kita ada ijazah tapi kita hanya pada theoretical saja. So untuk benda tu mungkin implement pekerjaan tu agak kurang sedikit lah. Okay, itulah yang kita, itu yang saya pernah lalui dan kita pernah duduk kadang-kadang. Cuma di institut kerajaan kita boleh nafikan lah, sebab di kerajaan dia ikut pada level qualification. Di situ saya tak boleh nak tu lah. Tapi kalau di industri swasta kebanyakan lebih kita boleh dapat lebih untuk technical certificate lah. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay. You also got a very supportive comment also by an audience also, if you can see. Yeah. Okay. I have a few questions on my end while I was listening to Puan Sawani, Cik Niza, your presentation. I want to touch on the pandemic and how you oversee your lessons. Tadi Puan Sawani, you have explained how you do it for theoretical, right? But for practical, since it's 70% of your lessons basically, How does Carsome Academy navigate your practical lessons in this situation?
Okay, so yes, for your information, for that the practical onboarding, okay, because we still in the full MCO now. So for your information, yes, for timing for now, actually, the operation is closed. So we just, waiting that the announcement from government lah. Okay, then since we are released to a full MCO, then we can, operate as usual. So of course this all of the student practical we will onboarding. Okay, so as we know lah, we actually SLDN accreditation center. Okay, so how that the mechanism, of course 100% we are following we are following that the Jabatan Pembangunan Malaysia punya guidelines lah. Okay, so we will monitor them because in Carsome Academy we have a student support department. Okay, to oversee them lah. Okay, it's not only on that the job performance, but also we will give support, okay, for that the apa kita panggil mentally, physically on that things lah. Okay, so as timing, we always have a student assembly through visual. Okay, so I think we quite good, okay, to handle all of that our students. Okay, even we are really critical in this pandemic lah. Okay, but on that our side and also effort given from student also, I'm little bit impressed with the students. Okay, they also give a full cooperations lah. Okay, when we asking that it's not asking, but this is that the daily class. Okay, that diorang akan terus bagi kerjasama. Okay, entering the class apa kita panggil with a punctual time. Okay, kita start class pukul 9, so all the student with participate with us. Okay, so setakat ni we have no issue lah. Okay, I'm boleh bagi summary lah. That's even pandemic, even we are in a full lockdown pun, but our training, okay, at Carsome Academy we still jalan as usual lah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. I have another question in regards of the study pathway. Tadi Puan Salmani cakap that after you do your certificate dekat Carsome, students who want to pursue their studies, diploma, degree is possible, right? What kind of jobs can students get? In terms of whatever they took for the certificate, what kind of jobs can they acquire after the degree following the TVET pathway?
Okay. So Nina, for your information now, okay, after you completing a level 3, of course, okay, because this program is 100% job guarantee with Carsome, okay, which is that you will join Carsome as a vehicle inspector. But don't worry, you will get that the what we call working experience, which is nowadays working experience is really important. Okay, because when you apply a job, always people will asking you, is it you have experience, working experience or not? So for me, this is that they're very good because we offering you work at the same time. After you complete this study, you also can go to further study through a few methods. Okay, the one of a methods is you can apply direct to that the diploma kemahiran and also degree level. Okay, after you complete level 3 lah. That another methods that you can go is we call as a RPEL. Okay, RPEL is a prior recognition of your experience. Okay, ataupun kita faham sebagai penilaian pencapaian terdahulu. Okay, so you can compile your certificate, informal certificate. Maybe you go for training, working training, that you can compile everything together. Okay, to convert with your experience, a working experience, to convert to the certification. Okay, so this is apa yang government support untuk kita lah, how that the TVET education landscape, okay, support untuk kita punya, certificate holder in the TVET, okay, untuk diorang punya future. Okay.
I see. All right. And then just a quick one, just a clarification on, just now you mentioned that Carsome has branches all over Southeast Asia. You have Indonesia, Thailand. So for example, if I were to graduate in Carsome Academy, and then obviously I'll climb the ladder, is there a possibility for me to get transferred to some of these countries and work at their branch, at your SEA branches?
Yes, Nina. Actually, yeah, you will have an opportunity to work with custom at another country lah. So for your information, now also I'm starting working to set up custom Indonesia. So yeah, custom
Congratulations.
Indonesia, yeah. So I work very closely with the Indonesia team. Okay, yeah, because this is that we start to set up lah. We start to find a team. Okay, people to run the custom academy there lah. So at the same time, yeah, I'm actually who are invited lah. Okay, to do the program structure. Okay, curriculum. Okay, for a custom academy Indonesia.
Nice. All right. Okay, that's good. So meaning students who sort of work with custom have the chance to work abroad as well with your branches all over Southeast Asia. All right.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
also in the next, also Nina, we will do the lecturer exchange. Okay, meaning that Cik Niza we will teach the Indonesia trainer, and also the Indonesia trainer we teach our Malaysia punya trainee lah.
I see. All right. Okay, that's great. All right. I think we've reached the end of our session. Just to wrap things up real quick, Puan Samani, Cik Nizam, do you have any parting words of advice for students? You know, lagi-lagi lepas SPM ni, who are interested in pursuing, you know, an education or even a career in this automotive and inspection field. Any words of advice?
Cik Nizam? Mungkin Cik Nizam dululah kot.
Okay, untuk kepada semua pelatih lepas SPM, okay, saya mengalu-alukanlah kehadiran kamu ke Carsome. Sebab apa? Peluang yang kita cuba berikan, pada anda tu tidak banyak ada di luar lah. Okay, sebab apa yang kita cuba ketengahkan adalah peluang pekerjaan selepas pembelajaran. Okay, selalunya peluang tersebut agak sukar nak dapat di industri di luar. So di Carsome kita cuba bagi peluang ini kepada anak muda supaya mereka lebih bersedia untuk menceburi alam pekerjaan yang sebenar di tempat itulah. So untuk di Carsome ni, okay, kita menjemput semua pelatih. Okay, lepas SPM, kalau berminat dengan teknikal ni, okay, bolehlah cuba di Carsome dengan tempoh pelajaran yang tak berapa lama. Kalau kita bandingkan dengan SEGi Kemahiran Malaysia Otomotif, kita melalui tempoh masa 2 tahun apa semua. Tetapi untuk inspektor ni kita hanya melalui pelajaran setahun, dan selepas tu dijamin pekerjaan kepada anda. So saya rasa ini adalah satu peluang dan satu benda yang susah nak dapat di luar lah. Okay, so you boleh cuba, okay, untuk merebut peluang ni. Okay, dan sebarang-barang boleh tanyalah Carsome ataupun boleh rujuklah ke Carsome. Okay, itu je.
Okay, Nina. Okay, Cik Nizam, thank you. But from my side, I just want to share about the apa specialnya skill I just to share with you. Okay, kalau kita pergi dekat kedai gunting ataupun barber ke apa kan, maksudnya bukan semua orang boleh jadi tukang gunting. Okay, because this is about skill. Okay, so sama juga dengan inspection, kita panggil inspector, vehicle inspector pun sama. Bukan semua orang boleh jadi vehicle inspector dengan baik. Maksudnya kita panggil bertauliah lah. Okay, di mana bila kita maksudnya bila orang hantar kereta, orang akan ada keyakinan. Okay, because you memang kita dah ditauliahkan. Maksudnya kita bagi pentauliahan untuk jadi certain job punya ni lah. Okay, so this is that yang I rasa very is good lah. Okay, kalau kata you all memilih untuk masuk ke dalam bidang skill lah. Okay, ataupun vocational lah. Okay, so just share with you all juga semua. Okay, just nak bagi inspiring lah. Okay, pada you all semua. Actually, I tengah buat I punya SKM, okay, in culinary. Okay, yes, culinary. So I'm just do my PPT. Okay, I just sign up lah. Okay, because I minat masak. I minat masak. So I think that it's not that the hobby yang sahaja maksudnya sahaja hobi, but I try to create satu professional yang di mana mungkin I boleh jadi, mungkin dia punya tenaga pengajar in the future, I boleh jadi panel, okay, I boleh jadi the things lah yang I tengah cuba sekarang ni. Walaupun my background is engineering, but yeah, so this is yang I nak cuba sampaikan lah. Skill ni is a very apa kita panggil, is a very luas, okay, dan semua orang pun boleh belajar skill. This is the point yang I nak bagi tahu dekat you all lah, okay, yang mana-mana lepasan SPM ni, okay Nina, this is the all from me lah.
Alright,
Okay?
thank you so much, Ms. Hawane and Cik Nizam, for your insights and perspective. I hope that the audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Thank you again, and I hope we get to see you again, Cik Hawane, Cik Nizam, for maybe our
Nina.
next event. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Yes,
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, have a good day. Have a good day, Ms. Hawane and Cik
Thank
Nizam.
you, Nina. Stay
Alright.
safe all.
Thank you, Nina.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Cik Nizam.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, Puan.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So thank you to our audience for joining our webinar session with Ms. Alwani and Cik Nizam of Carsome Academy. If you're at the fair, do visit Carsome Academy's virtual booth and check out all the offering programs that's available. If you have any questions after watching this session, you can just head on to the virtual fair, go on the booth and just ask any of their counselors for advisors or any ideas. If you have any sort of suggestions or if you have any questions about the courses, you can just go to the booth at our virtual education fair. Now, before we part ways, let's check out what Carsome Academy has prepared for us.
Hi there, I'm Junyi Teo, founder and head of Carsome Academy. Carsome Academy is an emerging automotive technical institute in Malaysia that offers you professional education, personal development, and guaranteed career opportunities. Our vocational learning program combines classroom and practical lessons. This means a learning journey that is unique and rewarding to realize your potential as a high-skilled employee in the automotive industry. We have also recognized by JPK, which is Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran Malaysia, so you can be sure that you are in good hands. Let me walk you through what you need to know about our course. Our SLDN, System Latihan Dual National Apprenticeship Program, is a 12 months long course. This features 3 months of theoretical learning in Carsome Academy classroom and a 9-month placement at any of our Carsome inspection centers nationwide. Our program is designed to provide all students with a fun environment to explore their strengths and discover more about the job firsthand. Our program is open to all Malaysians under 30 with a minimum pass in PT3. Join our community today. Technically skilled, industry ready, that's who you'll be with Carsome Academy.
All right, that's all we have for today. It's been a pleasure and thank you to our audience for tuning in to EduAdvisor's webinar series. We hope you gain some insightful and inspiring information to pursue your dream courses. Don't forget to check out EduAdvisor's virtual education fair and get all the information you need. Just click chat at the respective universities or go on to info desk and speak to our counselors personally. Hope to see you again and thank you for watching. Goodbye.